You may critique the plot or the script, but the artistry is top notch. He doesn't fuck around anymore.
What is up, guys? Back here with another Jaythestingray live.
Well, no warning.
Sorry, man.
Zip up your pants, Cole.
35 minutes passed.
This is why Pizzel is the king, because he actually announces it.
Yeah, but there's no rhyme or reason to what I do, so.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, we got the usual suspects rounded up here. Was basically wanted to do this because I'm having withdrawals from the sausage factory, so.
Well, good thing. Was that sausage? What's that movie comes out? It comes out tomorrow, right?
Sausage Party. Isn't it?
Sausage Party, yeah. So.
Yeah, my 6-year-old told me she wants to watch that.
That's fine to me.
You were the type of parent that Target had to plaster those stickers on South Park the movie saying this is not for kids. Don't buy this.
Yeah. You know, I think it was.
You're like, I'm not letting my children be exposed to Seth Rogen.
One of those recent kids movies, like somebody fucked up and played the Sausage Party trailer in front of it. One of those recent kids movies.
I saw a heavily edited
I don't
version
even
of
know
the
if the
trailer
movie's
last night.
good, but I mean, at least it's starting something. Because yeah, it is a little tiresome. It's like, oh, it's computer animated graphics. It's another kids movie. So
it's already started. It's already started something because Sony announced that their next Ghostbusters movie is going to be animated, and I don't think they would have done that if Sausage Party wasn't getting I
don't know though. We've seen these sorts of false starts before though. Like I don't know, the North American market just is never going to. They're just too stupid. I mean, I wasn't even aware of them, but I mean, when they theatrically released Princess Mononoke and they lined up all the big actors, Billy Bob Thornton, Gillian Anderson, all that, and like nobody gave a shit and stuff, and then like. They were like, what is this? I don't understand. And then and I remember just a couple years later, it was just like the Animatrix came out. And it was just like, oh, big studios are really looking into this now and stuff like that. And even Tarantino, who we were talking about, we can give him a bit of praise because he has a little anime sequence in Kill Bill and stuff. But it's just all false starts. It never really turned into anything. I'm fine with that. I mean, as most anime fans or otaku or whatever you want to call them are, it's just like, whatever. It's never going to be a thing here.
Man, I love the Animatrix.
I think it's pretty good.
Really cool, yeah.
It has some weak entries, but it has some really good ones too. I haven't watched it in 1,000 years.
Watch the first movie and then that, and then throw the other two in the garbage.
That's pretty much that's the way to do it.
Although Matrix Reloaded, as bad as it is, that freeway chase is fantastic.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, it's very well done and stuff.
I mean, I don't care about
Again,
the story,
it doesn't
but
really
take
fit
it out.
anywhere logically because it's just like I thought the whole point was like people weren't supposed to know. Like, can you just imagine like the newscast of that? It's just like, oh, there were people in suits and stuff flying around, doing a highly choreographed, gravity-defying battle on the highway today. That's just in the news.
And the Wachowski siblings, or as they're now known as.
What are the odds? Sorry.
That's what I was so about to say the same thing. What are the odds?
Yeah.
It's like a 1 in a zillion shot that two siblings would both get a gender reassignment.
But they're now they're doing a lot of artsy stuff like Cloud Atlas and they have a show on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but unfortunately,
I like Cloud Atlas.
Their movie Speed Racer, one of the few movies to ever play 70mm, where they had to have a warning before it saying this movie may cause seizures if you watch it in IMAX, and I guess some people did have to leave. So,
wow.
If that movie wasn't like 6 hours long, I think it might have done well. That movie just keeps going. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. It's insane long for a movie based on what it's based on. I just kept every time they came to once we got to a certain point, I kept expecting here's the end scene, and it just kept going. It looks wonderful and stuff, but I don't know. Part of that weird era where it was like Matthew Fox is going to be a movie star. Oh no, he's not.
That was an error? I don't remember that.
It was very brief. That's what it was.
He was like the bad guy in that Tyler Perry movie. Alex Ross.
Yeah, Alex Cross.
Alex Cross.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he was actually the only kind of decent thing about it. The rest of it, I mean, was just so cheaply done and terrible.
And he was Baxter Stockman in the new Turtles movie, which I didn't understand why.
I guess at least the pros still getting work. Yeah.
Well, Tyler Perry he was good in the Gone Girl. Like I was like at least he had like a good performance in that. He wasn't doing the Big Mama's House in that one, so.
I don't remember him in Gone Girl.
He's the lawyer, Ben Affleck's lawyer.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's like the one passable thing I've ever seen him do. And he wasn't that good. What freaked me out about that movie was it had Patrick Fugit. And he's just one of those actors that you're just used to seeing as a kid. So seeing him like when he's 30 just freaked me out. And I was like, it's a grown-up Patrick Fugit, and he's like a cop. This isn't right, because I've seen like six movies where he's played like between like the ages of like 15 and 20. That's like his niche. You know, like some child actors, they can't. I don't know. I'm sure he's fine for most people, but it just freaked me out. I was like, he grew up. That's not supposed to happen.
Be like Jonathan Lipnicki growing up or something.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, settle down, little fella. You know.
Well, they. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw the trailer for Bad Santa 2, and seeing Thurman Merman grown up is kind of weird too.
Yeah.
Last thing I saw that kid in was the Halloween, not Trick or Treat. No, yeah, it's Trick or Treat.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Trick or Treat?
He's the kid on the staircase that's talking to Dylan Baker, the guy who owns the house. Right. He was the pedophile in Happiness, or.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Happiness in a long time. That's a good movie, though.
That's a great movie.
Don't you miss him?
Yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I miss him so much.
I miss him, but I really miss John Candy. Someone reminded me of John Candy the other day, and I was like, oh my god, I missed that guy.
Well, yeah, I miss him in a different way, but yeah.
Well, at least I never saw John Candy like come on a wall and stick a paper to it.
Well, that's
like
what I loved about him. He was just like the ultimate guy for playing like scummy, uncomfortable characters. Like you needed that.
I needed to see.
Out of your mind.
Like I'd seen him in movies before, like Happiness, but it didn't register. Like I didn't start to know who he was or anything until I saw him in Red Dragon, where he was Freddie Lowndes, and I just loved him. Like Freddie Lowndes is in the book described as a pretty loathsome character, but it's so amped up with him playing him and stuff. He's just like exclusive and stuff. He just looks like he congealed out of a pond or something.
I wonder if he was mixing his heroin with meth.
I'm sure he mixed up lots of things over the years.
Too soon.
Bit of controversy came out today. Entertainment news. Well, when is there? It always happens. But today, Disney dropped that the 3D Star Wars comes out on Blu-ray, and they're adding in all the special features they didn't include the first time around to make everyone double dip. And they're kind enough to include all the special features from the previous release, so you can sell it. So. But people are like, well, what about the 4K Dolby Atmos version? I'm like, dude, they're still selling DVDs at Target. Relax. 4K is still 6 years away, people. Relax.
What about the 4K release, though?
What about that horrible niche market?
Yeah, you mean the Laserdisc for Blu-ray player collectors? Yeah. That's what it is.
I've been trying to... I've been trying to get a handle on that because I was thinking about getting a new TV, and 4K, is all over the place right now. So. Well,
Jay, think about this. In the last few years, we were told that 3D was the newest thing. We were told curved screens were the newest thing.
I am kind of intrigued by curved screens. I'd say that's like the last TV I was impressed with. I was like, I like a curved screen. I don't know, maybe it's gimmicky, but I thought it looked pretty good. But yeah, the thing about 3D though was like you need a 3D disc, a 3D player, and a 3D TV. I mean, Jesus.
Same thing with 4K. Same thing with 4K. You need a 4K TV, 4K player.
Yeah, that's just too much, man. Like
so that means
I'm still trying to save up money for surround sound, which has become a lot more affordable in the last few years. Thank God. Like at least it's not an impossible dream anymore. But I mean, I can only do one thing at a time.
I still need to get an all-region Blu-ray player. And I now have to get a 4K all-region Blu-ray player. Those things are $700 right now, so I'm not getting one of those.
Yeah.
But it's pointless to get something like that if something eventually is going to go 4K. But I don't know. To me, it's like if people are not buying Blu-rays for $5 and they're not, and Target's still stocking all DVDs, no one's going to go out there and buy $30 4K Blu-rays. I mean, to me, I feel like the next step's going to be streaming, and that's it.
Yeah, I really feel the same way.
Well, with the price of the recent collector's editions that's come out, I think it's obvious to me anyway that that's the way it's going to be for physical media. If you want to buy a physical copy of a movie, it's going to cost you $40-50. Period. And or you can stream it online for 20 or something. I mean, they're going to punish people that enjoy physical media.
Well, look, you guys know they've started up Vestron Video again.
Yeah.
And they're putting out Waxwork 1 and 2. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I went and checked out the pre-order on Amazon.
That's
$39.97.
It'll drop. It'll drop.
They're updating Vestron, and they changed the introductory.
That's what most things cost here. I'm used to that.
What most people like about Vestron is that the opening to the video, and then they change it. They modernize it. It's like, well, you give something people what we want, and then you change it. It's like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Michael Felcher posted the new, the intro. New Vestron intro. I don't know. I'm not going to pay $40 for it. I can tell you that right now.
No, it'll drop. Everything on Amazon. You know, the one tricky thing about that I'm noticing Amazon will do is you'll go on Blu-ray.com and see a bunch of Blu-rays on sale. You go to Amazon and it says only for Prime members. You know? So that's the new thing is they're giving all the sales to the Prime members. So
I got to spend $100 a year to get a sale.
And the thing is, though, is what do I get with that $100? Yes, I get the shipping, but you know, all the TV shows I have access to, I already have on Netflix and Vudu, so there's no point in getting that streaming service too.
You get 2-day shipping, and then you get Prime Day, which completely sucks dick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do order a lot of 2-day shipping stuff, so that's really what it is for me. The movie selection is not very good, and with the exception of what's the one show they have that's actually pretty good? Transparent, yeah. I actually like Transparent quite a bit, but other than that, I don't really like their original programming.
But are you going to get one of those, like, I'm using this as an example, like those Tide buttons that Amazon keeps wanting us to put up in our house? So our whole house looks like Josie and the Pussycats or something, where we're just knocking buttons, like, I need paper towels, and in 2 days a drone shows up on our doorstep with towels.
I think, I don't think I'm quite that helpless. Like, I'm so scatterbrained I can't remember that I need paper towels.
I'm still saving for my Amazon Basic refrigerator currently.
Yeah.
Do they make that yet? That would be a great idea.
Soon.
You've seen the new Samsung fridges, right? That like it shows you a screenshot of the inside of your fridge to show you what you're out of.
Why? Because you can't open the door? Wait a second. You can't open a fridge door?
No, like when you're at the grocery store, you can look at the inside of your fridge.
Okay.
Oh,
that's one of the best things. Go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and just look at like the washer, dryers, refrigerators, like all the high tech shit that like electronics by like GE and stuff, and it's like a refrigerator for $10,000. It actually gets food delivered to it for you. I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome.
Now, if you could figure out like some sort of piping to go from your fridge to your recliner to send like a beer, just like it goes through your fridge, through the floor, up to your recliner, you can make some money. Let's start up a Kickstarter for that.
Providers that have like little mini fridges on the bottom of them or something.
Yeah.
You can just reach into the bottom and like they combine your mini fridge with your chair.
We're like 1 year away from Wall-E being a real thing.
Yeah, pretty much. All floating around
on my toilet chair.
Not using our legs. I don't know, though. I went running Sunday night, and now I've got a blister, so I understand.
Well, get your Pokemon Go going, and you can actually get some good exercise.
So,
I finally saw somebody playing that. Like, everybody in the world had seen people playing it, and I hadn't really. And what was funny was I was walking back, and there were these two kids in front of me. These boys are about 10 or 11, and it was pretty clear, but there wasn't anything to confirm that they're probably playing Pokemon Go. One kid had a phone, and they seemed to be walking and looking at it and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, I think these kids might be playing Pokemon Go. Suddenly, on the other side of the street, there was a man and two other boys that they obviously knew. And the one with the phone looked up and saw them, held up his phone like this, and went, Pokemon Go! Pokemon Go! Pokemon Go! Go Pokemon Go! And then took off across the street. And I was like, well, that confirms it, yeah.
Oh, you think that's bad, Cole? They're getting ready to create a Pokemon Go game for Harry Potter fans.
Oh, I know. There's this girl, actually, where I just came from now, my Muay Thai. She looks like she's like 14, but I don't think she is. I think she's actually in her 20s. And she's like one of those.
I hope she's not.
She's like one of those people that's like, I don't know if there's a petition or what, but she's like part of that movement that wants like a Harry Potter go. And I was talking to her about it because I just have been rereading the Harry Potter books and stuff because of the new one that everybody says you shouldn't read. But I was like,
you're reading the Harry Potter books to get with her.
What?
Never mind.
I really shouldn't stray.
Got him.
Yep.
But I can see it happening. I mean, I don't understand like why J.K. Rowling is just like I can't write any more books. Like people wanted the prequels and stuff, and now you realize probably is a good idea. I mean, prequels didn't really work out for a lot of things like Star Wars and stuff, so probably wouldn't be what they want. But at the same time, it's like okay, these are the 7 books, but I'll just whore out Harry Potter to like every other thing, and I'll keep like here's a play and here's I don't know, like just weird obscure media things of Harry Potter and the Harry Potter. Like I get it, it's a big thing. You're gonna make a lot of stuff from it, like the Harry Potter, or like Lego video games and stuff like that. But I just mean, every like 5 seconds there's like some new thing coming out. And I remember I was watching, since I was reading the books again, I was like, I'll watch the movies again too. And I had watching a Blu-ray of one of the movies, and there's like this preview thing. She comes on and talks about like something you can do to go to some site like Harry. I don't know. It's like called
Pottermore.
Yeah, Pottermore. She's talking like I'm sure I heard about it years ago, but I forgot about this about 2011, I guess. I'm like, oh yeah, Pottermore. Is that still a thing? Is that still going on? It's just like, I don't know. Like, write a new book. You have your £1 billion or whatever.
Well, what do we think? What do we think about them rebooting the whole Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles today?
I don't care. I think Anne Rice is one of the biggest criminals in the literary world. I hate what she's done to vampires. She's at the root of everything. She's at the root of like Twilight and all that other bullshit. It all traces back to her and fucking Lestat. I can't stand her as a writer. I can't stand her anything she's ever done.
Lestat couldn't go out in the sunlight. He didn't sparkle.
I don't care.
I can actually read her books though.
No, I hate her books.
I've never tried to read Twilight.
Tell us how you really feel, Cole.
I hate her, and I hate her books, and I hate what she's done to. I hate what she's done to the genre.
No, you just feel betrayed. You just feel betrayed because she went to Christianity, then came back.
No. Oh, that's not true. I did enjoy a couple of her books, but that wasn't because of her. Oh, I shouldn't. No, that's too weird. Okay, fine. Years ago, I was living with a then girlfriend who is not my girlfriend now and stuff. And she had like some of Anne Rice's erotic fiction, like her erotic fairy tales. And I remember we used to read like Sleeping Beauty together. It's pretty.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, but I mean that's easy writing. I don't give Anne Frank, not
Anne Frank.
Rooster.
Yeah, I'm going back to the Kevin Smith thing where like Randall thinks Anne Frank is
Helen Keller.
But anyway, no. Anybody can write an erotic Sleeping Beauty. I do not give Anne Rice any credit for that. So yes, I got some joy out of that, but that was just because I had a willing sexual partner with me. It didn't have much to do with it.
And it wasn't Antonio Banderas. All right.
not this time.
What? Okay.
You guys remember Queen of the Damned? Did you ever watch that one? With like
I've never watched it.
It's like Korn or some shit is on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I watched that one.
But it was 2 of them. It was 2 of them. It was Vampire. Yeah, Aaliyah. It was Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned, like 2 700-page books in one 90-minute movie. I was like, no.
Movie sucked, man.
I know. He emerges into the world as like, I'll be like a crazy goth singer, and my voice will be that of John's or whatever his name was, the guy from Korn.
Jonathan Davis.
But I listen, Interview with the Vampire, the movie, it has obviously a little like performance problems and pacing and stuff, but in terms of mood, it's one of the greatest like horror films ever. Neil Jordan just nails this like beautiful gothic mood.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't like it, but it's like the same thing for me as like
Still, Kristen Dunst's best performance
was fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like I hate that movie, but it looks really good and has a great gothic atmosphere, and that's kind of how I feel. Like I think this movie's stupid. I think the characters are stupid, but you're right. It has a good atmosphere. It has it's well shot, blah blah blah, nice costumes and stuff.
Queen of the Damned had none of that.
Oh, Queen of the Damned is just a piece of crap.
Didn't what's her name, Aaliyah? Didn't she die before that movie was released?
Yeah,
so,
she did.
Like
she
a good
died
bit of
right
the,
before it.
Yeah,
the
but
buzz
she didn't
around
win. She didn't win the Oscar like Heath Ledger did. So.
No.
She didn't deserve one either. I mean, no disrespect. But.
No, I mean, she died so young. Maybe she could have become a more good actress. She was, climbing that ladder. She was in like Romeo Must Die.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
So she might have gotten to more respectable roles, in a few more years. So,
She was like one of R. Kelly's first urination victims, wouldn't she? So sorry for her.
She would never talk about it though. Of course, she wouldn't talk about it. But yeah, there was even a thing that they were married. That's still never been confirmed. That when she was 15, he married her. Nobody will give up the goods on that. But knowing all I know about R. Kelly, probably true. He's a weird dude, man. And I mean all that stuff aside, just the way he talks and stuff. But anyway.
What you know how sometimes Scream Factory will announce extras months in advance, and then there's something like Lady in the White, which comes out in 3 weeks, and they haven't announced anything. So,
I get all my Scream Factory news from you guys.
Okay. Well.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of Dave Chappelle's R. Kelly.
I think everybody went that far. But man, I remember reading an article about him. I'm not going to talk about the article. I'm going to talk about, and I was like, oh yeah. And they were talking about in the article some of his songs and stuff because I didn't listen to him. And man, I mean, I don't want to criticize what people are into, but stuff. I go and watch some of his songs on YouTube, and the comments, and it's ridiculous. He just says all this pornographic shit, and so many people are saying this is so hot. I was like, what?
Yeah, a lot of women love his.
And he sounds like a fucking elementary school bathroom lyric.
They'd love to get pissed on.
And I mean that's fine if you're into that. I mean, I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. But
I mean, Cole, E.L. James made $100 million in 1 year by writing Twilight fan fiction.
I know, and then
50 Shades of Grey.
She's like, I know. She's like, how can I make this appeal even more? Well, if I have the vampire, that's too much. I'll just up the abuse factor. He'll be even more abusive, because that's apparently what women really like.
But you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. I qualified that with apparently. I think I'm safe.
He's Canadian. Everything's backwards up there.
No, there's definitely some truth in that. There's a reason why, the lunch lady's reading 50 Shades of Grey.
It's weird though, because I only read a paragraph here or there. I did watch the movie just to see it, and it ends the same way the book ends. And it ends with her going, okay, her finally going, okay, don't hold back, and we're gonna really do this. And so he whips her with a belt for a while, and it ends with her going
6 times.
And it ends with her being okay, I'm not into that, and she breaks off the relationship. And that kind of would have been fine, except she just ruins it by writing sequels. And in the sequel, it just gets even worse because he becomes even more of a crazy stalker. It's she starts some job and she's getting harassed by some guy. And he buys the company to fire the guy and all this bullshit. And stuff.
Well, here's the thing though. What's so funny is the Blu-ray comes out and it says unrated, right? And everyone's like, "Oh my god, what did they add to it?" All they added to it was a 2-minute music video epilogue after the movie was over.
Wow. I would say I feel sorry for the people that bought that, but I don't because they're idiots anyway.
Shit's hot, man.
There's really nothing hot in that. And I understand that it's the popular thing or whatever, I'm just some guy, I'm a guy, blah blah blah, I'm not going to understand it. But I think more so than, I do read erotica, stuff like that. I'll admit that I can get turned on by words or pictures. A lot of people don't want to even admit that. People don't want to admit that. A lot of people, it's dude, it's not even real. And that's fine. I don't care. I'm not ashamed to admit that, a drawing could turn me on. That's fine. Or that words, words work for everything for me. I used to read, this works the other way. When I would eat cereal, I would read the ingredients while I ate cereal, and it made it taste better to me, reading the words of the ingredients that are in it. So I just have this. So I'm gonna
just Skype you late at night, Cole, and read you the Lucky Charms ingredients.
I guess Yellow Dye number 5 is quite erotic.
See, that won't get me aroused, but it might make me want to eat Lucky Charms. Let's not cross wires here. I was just trying to make a comparison. And I know I opened myself up for it. And like I said, I don't care. So, I mean, it's not like I'm so close-minded and stuff, but I just mean, it didn't work. None of that worked for me.
But you can turn him on with a box of Lucky Charms. And don't give him that yellow horseshoe, please.
Taste the rainbow, Cole.
Well, that just makes me think of Skittles. I can't eat Skittles. I barf them up. I barf the rainbow. I think that's already been established. So.
Oh, wow.
Rainbow. That's their new commercials.
But yeah, so if anybody out there is thinking like, oh, you're just being closed-minded, or a typical guy saying like, that you don't find 50 Shades of Grey arousing or whatever, I'm like, I don't know. I didn't read the book, but I read paragraphs here and there, and I did watch the movie just to watch it, and none of it was at all sexy to me. It was silly and in bad taste in many ways, and it just makes you think she's really stupid and he's really mean. Is really what you get out of it.
For those of you just tuning in, these are the conversations Pizzal will not let us have on the Sausage Factory.
Well, he doesn't want to get
time he says we're getting off topic.
We stay in the toilet here when it's on my show. We never get out of the toilet.
I can talk about Lost Girls or something on this one.
Swimming in Sewage with Jay and Friends.
See, some people say, some comic people will buy Lost Girls and say, well, I bought it because it's art and because I love Alan Moore, and that's true. But they won't say, like, oh, it doesn't turn me on. But I think a lot of them are lying.
You know what my wife watches to turn herself on, Cole?
Oh, boy.
My wife?
Hanging with Hung.
Oh, good God.
I guess it's better than the Shopping Network.
It's a good...
Forgotten about that guy.
Yeah.
It's a good title.
Hanging with Hung.
Is that a screener?
No, this is actually this is a 10-cent thing at a garage sale I picked up. He's got you get the She Bangs music videos in both short and long form director's cuts. You get his American Idol audition.
What did the owner of the house look like? Sorry, I have to cut you off.
Full commentary by William Hung at every So this is fantastic.
I bet that is amazing.
Mock trial with Jay Ryan.
Wouldn't you pick this up for a dime, Jay? I mean, just as a novelty.
I would, and I would watch it. I'm not joking at all. I got around with some buddies the other night, and we watched, or tried to watch Samurai Cop 2.
And it's unwatchable.
We watched maybe 30 minutes. It is unfucking watchable. They've got all these porn stars in there, right? These, young, mid-20s, and they're fully nude. But they blur everything out. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? I mean, that's why they're there.
You had me at Blur.
Blur is what had you?
Yeah.
See, I'm not the one with the weird sexual preferences here, then.
What does thou interest, Cole, Dark?
No, I mean, I could never find a rating on this thing. I think it's still unrated, but I guess they were trying to appeal to a more wider audience by not having, like, full frontal nudity in every shot.
Maybe
in every shot is kind of...
Cole, I just thought of something. You might get more subscribers for your YouTube channel if maybe you make a video where you read Chapter 1 of 50 Shades of Grey, and then the next video is Chapter 2, and just read it, like, on your bed, and just, post that video. You might get...
Just make the thumbnail like Harley Quinn's tits. Like, every time.
That's what's funny, though. That's like everything that wants to talk about Harley Quinn, that's what the thumbnail is.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear? I don't know if I posted about it yesterday, but there's a YouTube channel called Flicks in the City, and they kind of show like Comic-Con panels. They like record Comic-Con panels. And they've been doing this for about 10 years. Well, now that Comic-Con has its own paid subscription channel, Comic-Con HQ, they're going around and flagging everybody's videos, pulling them down, and whole YouTube channels are coming crashing down because they're saying that's our content, even though they were told you can record the panels, just don't record anything on the screens. So there's a bunch of YouTube channels just crashing and burning lately, and they are the latest victim. And
so did you see, what's his name? Oh shit, why can't I think of his name now? Brian Azzarello yell at that guy?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. That's pretty funny. For the
I had someone screaming
about
comment about it.
About
The Killing Joke?
The Killing Joke, thank you.
Yeah.
Which is the last thing I saw in theaters. And it is really good, but it is true, like, that beginning part, like, what's up with that? Like, I understand they had to add something to fill things out, but that's a weird direction to go.
I would have thought you would have hated that whole thing.
It wasn't the... Wow, I watched it last night. I got it on Blu-ray, and it was like, okay, so maybe she has daddy issues, and Batman is the ultimate alpha male, and things happen, But it wasn't graphic or anything. It was just like, whoa, a bra. Oh.
It wasn't that it was graphic. I think it's just the fact that they implied that it happened at all, right? Because in the comics, there's never been any such relationship, and it also seems like a way of backfiring on the story. Okay, so the story itself is quite short and doesn't have any Batgirl in it, so. I understand why they did what they did. They said, okay, we have to fill this out and add some time to it because it's not big enough to be in a movie, and it makes sense logically to show Batgirl in action beforehand instead of just have her be a victim, right? Instead of, because in the comic, she's not Batgirl, she's just there, she gets shot at, and that. So it's like, okay, well, but now they make her like more of a victim because now she's like a jilted lover that actually decides to quit being Batgirl anyway because apparently she can't emotionally handle it, and then she gets to get crippled. Like,
she can't emotionally handle Batman's lack of emotions.
Yeah, and I just think
that's going to happen.
It's a really stupid direction to go in, and I don't agree. It doesn't ruin it for me because you still get to see Mark Hamill saying some of the best Joker lines ever written. One
of the best Jokers ever.
And for years, I wanted to hear what the Looney the Looney song would sound like, and maybe this doesn't nail it, but it's pretty good. It's like, that
Does
fits.
it go like this? Baby, I can play it to a kiss rose.
We couldn't get the rights apparently.
We're lucky Orc sings that in a tune. Otherwise, YouTube could flag us.
Yeah.
Oh shit, son!
Fuck you,
bots! You have a man down.
You'll never catch us, bots.
It still is pretty good, and I mean, I don't want Brian Azzarello to yell at me, but yeah, I wonder why he decided to do that. And I guess some of it is because it's Bruce Timm, and Bruce Timm is the person that introduced the idea of Batgirl and Batman having a relationship because it shows up in the final season of the
now
animated series.
Now that your roses in bloom. Okay, I'm done. I swear to God.
I don't believe you. That's going to come up again.
Be careful with your words, Orc. You might turn Cole on.
So maybe
anything
can set me off these days. These are the dog days of summer, so everything's a little bit off. But yeah, so maybe it's Bruce Timm's influence. I don't know. I mean, I still love Bruce Timm. I still like Brian Azzarello. I mean, he's okay. I have some of his stuff. I don't think the Joker graphic novel is the be-all, end-all that people make it out to be. It's pretty good. But.
I heard that I've heard from a lot of people that Bruce Timm needs Paul Dini to balance himself out.
That's probably true. I mean, I love both of them, and they do their best stuff when they're together. And I get that, they want to have identities outside of each other, of course. But I hope they can at least admit they did their best work when they were working together.
Have you read the Paul Dini book that he just came out with about him getting mugged? And
no, but I heard about it. Paul Dini's one of the very few people I follow on Twitter, so I will. Yeah, and that's about that Batman book. What was it, like a real Batman story, or whatever it is called,
right.
Which is definitely on my to-do list to read that. Like Paul Dini, very much, of course, now is like I said, he invented Harley Quinn, and now she's really blowing up and stuff. And I bet you he's making nothing for it.
But he invented her to be, a abusive relationship, a true abusive relationship, not, the sex kitten hot topic girl that we see walking around in booty shorts. Right. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think everybody's misinterpreted her, because that's supposed to be sort of her thing. In many ways, she's a very strong, independent character. It just has this one huge blind spot.
Well, didn't she appear in that garb in a different iteration of the character? There was a series where she did dress like that and act like that, and her origin was she fell into the chemicals. I thought they did something like that.
They made one where she fell into the chemicals?
The new 52.
Yeah, and that's kind of where they took this Harley Quinn.
Don't worry, they got rid of that. Stupid new 52. I'm so glad it's gone. That was supposed to be my big jumping on point 5 years ago for DC, because I was always more Marvel than DC. So I was like, okay, here's the chance to collect some stuff, starting at the beginning, getting on the ground floor, and just it's not like there wasn't anything good in the new 52, but most of it was so bad, and I mean that's why it's gone 5 years later. Don't miss it at all.
Well, actually, it's gone because the comic book companies want to reboot everything every 5 years to get people back on issue 1.
Right. It's more DC than Marvel, although Marvel's just as guilty as making new issue 1s all the time. But at least the one thing I'll give Marvel is they don't do big continuity retcons. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a few, but not the way DC has. Like most of their major characters, like their origin stories stay the same. Like how many times has Wonder Woman's origin story changed? Like 6 times. Supergirl is like the most insane one of all. Like, ugh. So this isn't a Marvel superior to DC thing either. I'm more Marvel than DC, but lately I've been buying more DC stuff. So
Well, didn't Marvel reveal that Captain America is actually Hydra?
Yeah, that's already. Like that? They've already. See, this is why people need to read more than one comic before they all flip out. Because by issue 2, it's already explained how that is.
So it's basically the comic book version of clickbait. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. If you want me to spoil it, I will. So they try to reveal that like through this first issue called Steve Rogers Captain America, that's like not only like. It's just like from the very beginning, even before he became Captain America and stuff, like Hydra had their hooks in him. And everything he's ever done in all continuity, he was like a secret, super deep cover agent of Hydra. And you're like, what? How can that be? How can it be? Skip to the next issue. Oh, it's because the Cosmic Cube, even non-readers know what that is. In its latest iteration, had gained consciousness and turned into a little girl. And was with the Red Skull. The Red Skull couldn't just get her to do whatever he wanted, but he did make friends with her so she would do certain things. And one of the things she could do is just by looking at somebody or whatever, because she can do anything, is just change them into what you want. So she basically looked at Steve Rogers, and she performed a real-life retcon. Suddenly, that was his history because she made it so. So, there you go.
That's awesome.
It is because it totally keeps all the other stuff. It's so all the people that were flipping out and picking up big stacks and stacks of comics from like 50 years and going, in all of these stories, you mean in here, and here, and here, and here, he was actually Hydra? You know, they can all calm the fuck down now.
Well, I didn't go like that or nothing. I mean,
I know you.
I'm not huge, but huge into comics. But I just thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, but like I said, that's what's funny. The people that did that the most were seasoned comic readers. They weren't, the more casual people. And I'm thinking, if you're a seasoned comic reader, you know the fucking rule is wait some time. Stuff gets explained. Don't flip out after issue 1. Don't flip out after every goddamn reveal.
But that's the internet, Cole.
Yeah, that's the internet.
People flip out over a single tweet about anything, so...
I'm outraged.
Outrage. Oh, outrage culture. That's the internet, all right. Outrage culture.
I was going to mention earlier, you were talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman. Speaking of deaths, today is the 2-year anniversary of Robin Williams' death.
Yeah, I saw your post.
Yeah, I didn't realize that till someone mentioned it.
What'd you ask? What was your favorite performance, or was the favorite movie?
Movie, I think is what I said.
I'd have to go back to, I like The Survivors, Moscow on the Hudson, most of the stuff he did in the 80s. He got too schmaltzy for me there for a while. It was the comedian that can prove he can cry type thing, and I've never been a fan of that.
Actually, my favorite thing he's done is where he doesn't sell a single joke. I really do like Good Will Hunting. And it's not like I'm one of those people that's like, Robin Williams isn't funny. I think he's very funny and has done lots of good, funny stuff. Yeah. He had some misses for sure, but it still is Good Will Hunting, which isn't really his movie. It's Matt Damon's movie. So, but even then, if I think of like my favorite thing he's in, it's still somewhat serious, which might be
Jumanji.
Dead Poets Society.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Death to Smoochie.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
Death to Smoochie is definitely a totally underrated movie.
Well, I'll pick. He's done a lot of great work, but I'll pick 2 movies that I think are fantastic movies. He's barely in them, but I think they're great, and he's not even credited in them. And that is Dead Again and Baron Munchausen.
I like Baron Munchausen. He's also not credited in the 1996 Hamlet.
Father's. Oh, okay, that's right.
He's one of the grave diggers in Hamlet.
No, that's Billy Crystal. Robin Williams was the guy doing the fencing.
Oh, that's how long it's been. How long? Thank you. You're right. You're right. But still,
don't mix up the Father's Day comic relief co-stars.
Well, I've never seen that movie, so give me some slack. But I love the '96 Hamlet. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I really
Did he get a credit for being Mime Jerry in Shakes the Clown? I love that movie.
No, but Bobcat Goldthwait casted him in like every other movie he made after that. So.
Some good movies in there too.
But a lot of shit too.
It's all about Patch Adams, baby. Let's go.
What Dreams May Come?
RV.
Oh man, that's a bad.
What was his last movie anyway? What was the last thing he did?
It was the one where he's like
in Brooklyn or something.
No, he's like a gay guy traveling the streets, like looking for a lover or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but.
Is that
Mike is right though. He totally went overboard once he did some dramatic roles, like fucking The Night Listener. Like nobody wants to see that. A lot of people really like
1 Hour Photo.
1 Hour Photo, and I hate it. Oh God, I hate that movie, man. I found that so painful to watch.
What about Insomnia?
I like Insomnia, but it doesn't have to be him. Like it could have been anybody. To me, that's more Al Pacino. I like the movie. But I think Robin Williams is fine in it, but I think somebody else could have been just as good. Like it just was sort of incidental that Robin Williams was that character.
I actually went back and watched like the first like couple episodes of Mork and Mindy. It's I mean you can't even believe that show was ever on TV. He's so outrageous.
Yeah.
Of course that was my introduction to it.
Yeah. Well, it really felt like they wrote a script and just said, Robin, you say some words here, and he just like they probably did the take 30 times, and he'd have a different thing to say, you know.
I mean, all those years ago when I first heard of what it was, you know, I think my head exploded because I knew what Happy Days was. I hadn't really seen it, but then to find out this was supposed to be a spin-off of Happy Days.
I remember when he would guest starred on Happy Days as Mork.
Yeah,
my favorite show when I was in 2nd grade or something.
But see, I was a fan of Mork and Mindy because Jonathan Winters was on the show. And Jonathan Winters was in my like favorite episodes of Scooby-Doo when I was a kid.
I was going to say, I remember Jonathan Winters mostly for his voice work, honestly, for me. And that's one of them. That's one of them, for sure.
Yeah, they would always go and get like the grandma's fritters or things or like that on Scooby-Doo. And so whenever he was on Mork and Mindy, I was like, oh my God, it's Jonathan Winters from Scooby-Doo, of all things. Now Scooby-Doo makes movies with wrestlers.
They make movies with everything. I mean,
yeah, but they just came out with a new one with The Undertaker. Just came out Tuesday.
That seems kind of not the right time. It seems like if they're going to do one with The Undertaker, it should have been like 1994. But then again, I don't follow wrestling, so maybe.
Just wait till Scooby-Doo hangs out with Duck Dynasty.
Then I will die a little inside. I don't know though. I mean, Scooby-Doo has already been in so many stupid incarnations. There's nothing sacred left to protect. I mean, I like some of the incarnations, and some are god awful.
I went to Wikipedia.
Of course, DC now has that new super serious like apocalyptic one. But anyway.
But I went to Wikipedia a couple months ago and looked up Scooby-Doo because I needed to know right then, like, what is the goddamn order of Scooby-Doo? What series came?
Everything on Wikipedia is not correct. Most of the time.
Where Are You was the first one from the 60s.
Yeah,
right.
19.
But I didn't know like when the Scooby Scrappy show started.
That was my least favorite one. One was him, Shaggy, Scrappy, and Daphne for sex appeal, I suppose. That was easily the worst one I'd seen.
I don't think any kid watches Scooby-Doo for sex appeal.
Well, as we've already confirmed, I'm kind of off sexually, I guess, compared to most people.
Did you ever wonder why Velma's socks never fell down, Cole?
Yep.
See, I never thought about that.
You name a cartoon, and I'm sure I sexualized it one way or another at some point in my life.
Continue.
Not that it's all my fault. I didn't invent the goddamn thing.
Tell me more.
That will do.
Are you sure?
All right.
Anyways, so what's going on?
I saw Robin Williams in an episode of Louie not too long ago that really bummed me out.
Yeah, that show kind of does bum you out, doesn't it? I kind of don't get it. Like, shows that are that real, like, I don't know what to do with them. Like, there's that weird thing where he like has that conversation with Dane Cook, And I was like, but this isn't real, but it's based on the real thing. And I didn't understand whose side I was supposed to take or what I was supposed to get out of it. It didn't make any sense to me. It was some sort of like slightly fictionalized version of him finally meeting Dane Cook face to face and them talking about, the whole alleged thing of him stealing jokes, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Is it even true, or is this just part of the show? Like, I don't really, Louis gets, it gets too caught up in reality for me. I find myself feeling bummed out after watching most episodes.
Yeah, it constantly goes from like funny to extremely depressing. Like,
yeah, and it's not like it's the only show that does
5
that.
minutes.
Like there's that one where like he has that weird sexual tryst with the woman, then he gets stranded, so he like calls Chris Rock, and Chris Rock is really mad at him, and Chris Rock's wife is apparently a horrible shrew. I was like, what does this mean? Are we trying to say that Chris Rock's wife is mean and that she bosses him around? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that when Ron Williams died, I actually was like thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to watch one of his movies again, because he was a guy that brought so much happiness and joy, and to think that this person was, obviously so depressed that this happened, or maybe he was on drugs and it happened. Who knows? But it's just like whenever how somebody tragically ends, it's like for instance, if Alfred Hitchcock was ever convicted of like murder, you could never go back and watch one of his movies without thinking, oh, this guy was preparing to kill people.
Yeah. But murdering somebody is quite different from being depressed.
No. But what I'm saying though is that if you knew like something about somebody, it then informs their work in a different way. If Ron Williams killing himself informs his work in a different way, where now you got to look at it as like, well, this is where we ended up.
I guess so. I mean, it's different. I get it. I mean, it's different than saying, listening to Nirvana, because it's just like, yeah, okay, that's not, Nirvana wasn't about making jokes and making people laugh.
Right. But if you look at Rob Williams' if you look at like Dead Poets Society, if you look at Good Will Hunting, it's all about talking people out of being depressed, and like the whole thing about the Neil in Dead Poets Society killing himself and him trying to like work with the students. It's like, how do you make a film like Dead Poets Society that's meant so much to so many people, and then kill yourself?
I don't know, but it actually sounds very easy to me.
Yeah, not to me.
Yeah. You guys remember who was it that came out like calling him out for committing suicide?
Fucking Gene Simmons, man.
Or it was some celebrity. It's really
Gene
bullshit.
Simmons like called him a coward, which that just makes me.
Is that who it was? Gene Simmons? Yeah. No, yeah. I thought it was somebody I actually respected though.
Maybe somebody else had a comment too, but Gene Simmons totally called him a coward.
The king of saying stupid shit at inappropriate moments. Yes.
It wasn't Gene. It was somebody else I'm thinking of. But
no, that's the guy who plays Leatherface and Andrew Barsky or whatever his name is.
Oh man, that fucking guy.
The only guy that came out against like Gunnar Hansen on the day he died.
Yeah, God, man.
Seems like a weird thing to do, but okay.
Like you're already hated by like everyone, and that's what you're gonna do? Like now? What a way to like totally turn the tide against you.
Yeah. Man. Completely.
Go to another convention and smoke crack in the parking lot.
I'm sure somebody else is something critical about Robin Williams too. A lot of people weighed in, which I don't think it's anybody's place to weigh in. You should just say it's bad.
I'm not necessarily being critical. I'm just saying it informs the work. It's hard for me to watch some of his movies that deal with comedy and drama and not feel something like, oh man, why didn't you learn the lessons that you were telling each of us to do, yourself?
Of course. I mean, you watch stuff like that and you just think, how did you feel on this day when you were doing this?
Oh, and, that was Henry Rollins who I was thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, that's the one thing that you can do. The one thing you can control is whether or not you live or die, Like,
right.
I mean, he's struggling with issues, and apparently he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. I've heard as well.
But we don't even know.
Did he, like, insult him?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even know if he was.
Never been shy to insult people.
I mean, we don't even know. We don't even know if Ron Williams was even of sound in mind. I mean, he could have been.
That's the other thing, right? On another day, he might have felt differently and not done it at all.
Well, some of the medications he was on very well could have pushed him over. So.
Right. That's why, there's never really much point in speculating about these things, You're never really going to have the answers.
I mean, I'm not gonna, discredit the man, days after his death, for doing something like that. I mean, what difference does it make? I mean, he was in a bad place and he ended it. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's sad. It's just a sad thing. We're all very sad about it.
But I do get it. Not that I agree with Henry Rollins, but I do understand that, like, when someone like that dies, it creates such an emotional response that you might just want to just get fucking pissed off, and or go the other way and be incredibly sad. It's just it all depends on how it's done.
Yeah,
But when I saw your post this morning, I was thinking, God, what films would I choose of his that because there was, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but he did a lot of terrible movies like License to Wed, and
RD.
his movies weren't. If he was in a movie, it didn't automatically make you go, wow, I have to see it. Now his stand-up, on the other hand, Flubber. Yeah. Yeah. But his stand-up was always fantastic.
Oh, I know. The one he did in 2002 is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That one.
I also remember from his HBO work with Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal with the
Comic Relief
for homeless. They're raising money to help homeless people. That was always fun.
Yeah.
I always preferred his comedy.
Yeah, Mike, that brings up an interesting point, because you would think that Comic Relief would be something that HBO would try again today with, like, all the improv comedians we have of today. You would think they would want to do something like that and carry it on, but guess not.
Maybe they're trying to respect its legacy. I don't know.
Well, I'd rather them do that than make a Ghostbusters movie.
Did anybody see the Ghostbusters movie? I didn't see it. Did anybody see it?
Jay, did you saw it?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was. I mean, it's a pretty big testament to it that none of us have seen it.
It's like drugs.
Well, I just mean, I don't know.
Well, Sony came out the other day and said, sequel's gone. There's no more. So.
I didn't go see it because I'm always bitching about shitty remakes. But if I go to the movies and pay to see the movie, then they think I want to see more shitty remakes.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why I didn't go. I'll watch it on Netflix later. I don't give a shit about it, but I wasn't going to pay to make them think that's what I wanted to see.
I mean, I don't know what I would think about it. I mean, I have ideas just like we'd all speculate, but I mean, it's just kind of what everybody expected. You're not going to say, like, oh, it's really good and lives up to the original. And most people aren't like, oh, it's fucking horrible. It's more like, it's, not that good. It's kind of average, not very good, I
mean, there's no way it could have lived up to the original, because the sequel to the original with the original people didn't even live up to the original. So I don't know what they thought they were.
I mean, I understand to a certain degree why people get upset about things. Like, like the cameos. Like, we don't, Bill Murray and those guys, like, showing up, like, it makes it look like they can, they're okay with the movie. When it's more like, you better be in it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they. To me, I feel like if they should have looked at it and said, okay, this isn't as good as we want it to be. Go back and shoot some stuff, because why would you release a movie that's gonna be to people?
I don't know.
They're like mad at guys. Well, you're sexist if you don't go see this movie. But one of the characters is a racial stereotype.
Yeah. Well,
that should be offensive to people.
God. Yeah. Well, thank God that whole thing backfired on them. And they remember when the studio head Tom Rothman came out and said, "We love the haters of this movie. The haters are going to bring us all the money." And nope, they didn't.
I don't think so. I mean,
yeah.
I fucking hate that word too. I really do. Haters. It's so fucking stupid. Just because you disagree or dislike something, you're a hater. No, fuck you.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think I'm a hater. I don't care enough to hate the movie. I don't. I just don't care enough. That's why I didn't go see it. I don't care to see it. I don't care about it. If it goes away, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm really tired of hearing about it and talking about it, but I mean, it's like they were insulting me out of the gate. It's kind of the way I felt. When I didn't like the trailer they put out, they tried to flip it. And they've just been playing mind games with this whole thing, and it didn't work. I still say that Twitter thing was completely orchestrated. I believe that more now than I did then.
I just don't understand why trailers exist anymore. Then I don't get it. Like I thought the whole point, yes, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, shouldn't completely judge a movie by its trailer, but trailers still exist to give us an idea of whether or not we'd like to see it. So can't you watch a trailer and say, this doesn't look like it's for me, I don't plan on seeing it anytime soon, and suddenly that's, a terrible thing. Then why does the trailer exist? So trailers only exist so people can go, yes, this looks amazing. I mean,
had they not come out and said, fuck you fanboys, you like the original, this is not it. We don't want you to go watch this. I mean, had they not come out and insulted me directly, I probably would have taken my kids to go see it, just to to blow an afternoon or whatever. But I was adamant against not doing that, so I totally lost my money.
It died a death it deserved. So
yeah, like I said, I'm just tired of it. I never had strong feelings about it one way or another, and I kind of resent them trying to stir up stronger feelings in me. I mean, I like Ghostbusters, and I liked the cartoon as a kid, but it's not one of those things I hold that sacred. It's, it's a movie I like. It has actors I like. It's fun. It's, I rate it highly, very well done and stuff, but, it's not a huge part of my life. I guess it's a huge part of some people's lives, and that's what started some of this backlash and stuff, but I don't associate myself with those people. I'm not a fanboy in that way. Maybe I'm a fanboy of other things, but not Ghostbusters.
But I mean, it's like Paul Feig, like immediately, before the movie's even finished, talking shit about, the backlash and, the people who were doing it, and that's me, Like, I love the original film. I'd go see a sequel, but it's just...
Well, since they're both basically Saturday Night Live products, look at the first one was original Saturday Night Live people, the good Saturday Night Live, and most of the movies they did were good. You cut to now, most of the Saturday Night Live movies suck, and the show sucks compared to what it used to.
Yeah, because
so had a lot to do with it.
Because even if it was like for let's say male actors like from the Saturday Night Live cast, I don't see how any of them would be as good either.
No, it still would have sucked.
So that reminds me, Mike. A number of years ago, probably about 5 years ago, I was still getting discs from Netflix instead of streaming, and I thought, what's something I was like, something that I have never seen were all the Saturday Night Live movies from the 90s into the 2000s, because I didn't see any of them, and so for a solid month. That's all I watched from Netflix. It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
You had to watch like Superstar and fucking Night of the Rocks.
Ladies Man.
I hate Tim Meadows. My God, I hate Tim Meadows. Whoever told Tim Meadows he was a comedian?
There was.
He ever done anything funny in a sketch? Jesus.
There was It's Pat and Stuart Smalley Saves His Family.
I've seen every one of the movies you mentioned. They're all terrible.
I've only seen pieces of It's Pat.
I'm sorry.
I've only seen pieces of Coneheads.
Coneheads is good though. I think
a lot of people really like it. I assume I would like it because that's like
Coneheads is like old school.
And then there was the Tommy Boy and the Black Sheep.
Love those.
I actually like those two movies.
Love those. I mean, Black Sheep's not nearly as good, but I just it's nice seeing those two together again. That's all.
Yeah, it was like a whole slate of them, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I knew they weren't going to be good, but I was like, maybe I should just watch them all in one weekend and just knock them out. And
Cameron, I'm glad you didn't kill yourself in Beverly Hills Ninja. Glad you made it through.
Well, I didn't include that one because it wasn't technically a Saturday Night
movie. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
I can't believe there's people out there that think that like there'd be an audience for like a Wayne's World 3. No. God,
there's an audience for Bill and Ted 3. Tell you that much.
Too late. Waited too long.
Way too late. Just let them. Leave them. They were. I mean, part of those things, Charm, that made them good is because they were of their time. And you can't drag something into the now. Maybe that's why Ghostbusters didn't work either. Ghostbusters had some 80s-ness to it, and it was best in that frame. It doesn't, I'm not saying that absolutely. I'm just saying maybe that contributes. Some of these things were great because of the time that created them. You can't just drag them into another time and expect them to have the same impact.
Have any of you guys seen the Kindergarten Cop 2?
No.
It's been on Netflix like a while.
Yeah. I had no idea that existed. Yeah. So who's that star?
Dolph Lundgren.
Wow, that really makes me want to see it. Because I really like him.
Yes, but it's from all accounts, even people who like terrible, Sharknado type movies, they hate it.
Yeah, that's too bad. Dolph Lundgren is well, he even starred opposite him, Jean-Claude Van Damme. They both became pretty good actors, but by the time they did, they were just doing a straight-to-video trash. Like, they've actually both shown range and able to do pretty good performances in the last decade, but by then they weren't they were way past their moment in the sun. It's kind of too bad.
I got to stick up for the Sharknado films. I mean, they're a love fest for bad movies. I mean, if you've been a fan of B movies as long as I have, you watch Sharknado and it's like they love them as much as I do.
Yeah. I smiled when watching a commercial for one of them or something like that, because it's just there's some political figure or something going, there hasn't been a Sharknado in 5 years under my watch or something like that. That's awesome.
Roger Corman's one of my heroes, so yeah, Sharknado's awesome.
So I'm looking at this list here. There's only one Saturday Night Live movie I haven't seen, which is MacGruber.
That's actually funny. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Shut your butt.
I didn't like it very much, but I did like the sex scene because it just showed everything that's horrible about what most real sex is like. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, so you enjoy banging a gravestone?
Oh no, what I mean for normal shitty people, not me. Sex for me is spectacular and amazing and better than anything you've seen in porn or movies or whatever. I just mean,
right,
I've learned over, and that's one of those things that you come around to slowly. For instance, but I was about 10 years old. This isn't sex. This is another parallel.
I fucking hope not.
I was about 10 years old when I discovered that not everybody.
I was raw dogging this broad.
The babysitter was never the same.
I know, I set myself up for this. I was about 10 years old when I discovered that not every single human being in the world can sing well, because I took it for granted. Singing was just something anybody could do. It didn't take talent. It didn't take effort. You could just sing. And then I learned, actually, some people are really bad singers. Some people are tone deaf, stuff like that. And that was something I had to slowly learn growing up, too, about sex. Because I was just I don't know. To me, sex was a big deal, so I put everything I had into it. But every sitcom I watched was the man thinks he's interested in sex, but actually only lasts for 2 seconds, can't do anything, is missionary, and then falls asleep and doesn't even give a shit. That's what I found out over and over again. So I was like, oh, so that's what the masses are really like. So that's what I came around to with MacGruber. I was just like, most people aren't very attractive. Most people aren't sexual. So I assume that most sex is actually quite awful and terrible, and thank God it has nothing to do with me.
Hey, Sam Kinison tried to help everybody. You know the alphabet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
I thought you were going to say you saw the orgy scene in Society and you realized that's the way you have to do it.
Yeah.
I've never seen that, no.
But I
highly recommended.
But okay. Mike said he's a fan of bad movies, so I have to just announce this to the world. I was trying to figure out a movie to watch the other night, couldn't really figure it out, went through my collection, realized there is a movie I owned that I hadn't seen. It's been 25 years, and I never had seen it. I couldn't believe it, but I had it in my collection. So the wife and I sat and watched Roadhouse for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, with Patrick Swayze?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a movie that I don't think I've ever seen in one sitting, start to finish, but I here it is on TV, some of it, here it is on TV, some of it type thing. So I've seen most of it.
What if somebody says my mom was a whore? Is she?
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Or in the middle of this giant fight scene, the guy says to Patrick Swayze, I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Yes. Love it. I love it.
That's ultimate. That's awesome.
It's a very real line.
You know what's awkward about that movie? There's some awkward sex
how tight
scenes
his
in there.
jeans are?
Yeah.
I don't even understand how he gets them on or off, those jeans.
Oh, man. How does he kick so high in them?
Yeah. It's amazing.
He's a goddamn freak of nature is what he is.
But I was looking at Roadhouse thinking, okay, this was 1 year after Dirty Dancing and 1 year before Ghost. And this is what Patrick Swayze makes.
And I think it's superior to both of the other films.
Yes, that's
No. But what I'm saying though is Patrick Swayze did a lot of strange movies like Steel Dawn and bizarre science fiction action movies and stuff.
What was that one he did about the Cajun family that actually had his real brother in it?
Oh,
idea.
Can't remember that one.
I'm remembering
Next of Kin.
Next of Kin, yeah.
Oh, I've at least heard of that.
And then he followed that.
Very little of his stuff.
Didn't he follow up Next of Kin with Tu Wong Fu? I mean, just like
I've seen that.
Well,
I'm not
Tu Wong Fu. What the fuck were we thinking?
Yeah.
Gotta give him full respect for that, and like another tough guy like
Wesley Snipes and John Leguizamo was in that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I think that was pretty cool that they did that. They had I mean, Wesley Snipes is fucking Blade.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see Blade in a dress.
Well, if you want to see,
I liked it.
If you want to see Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey in a movie, don't watch Dirty Dancing. Watch Red Dawn, the original.
Red Dawn, yes.
Yeah.
I hate Red Dawn, man.
Wolverines.
Well, you got to be from America.
I think I really do. That's actually one of the few times where, yes, I really do believe that. Because Red Dawn is just ridiculous.
What you gonna do when communism comes down on you?
Did you guys see the remake of that one?
No.
Shit.
That had Thor in it, didn't it?
Yeah, but it came out 4 years after it was made, and it was supposed to be China invading, and then they changed it to North Korea, which could never happen. North Korea could never invade us.
That's what I was going to say. They changed it because
they didn't want to upset the Chinese.
Oh shit, China's our market now. We can't.
Yeah, it's like we don't want to give them ideas.
Yeah, but they're who watches our movies now.
Well, no, wasn't it coming out at the same time the Olympics were over there too?
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah. Beijing.
Yeah, Beijing. That's when the Olympics were over there. They had to, believe it or not, they had to. This is not a joke. They had to quickly take dog off the menu because they didn't want to offend all the Westerners coming over.
Yeah. But I mean, that happens.
Don't eat it, son.
That happens in every fucking Olympics. All the weird stuff that happens behind the scenes, where they sweep whatever country. Doesn't matter. Every country has dirty stuff. It shoves under the rug. To put on the show. Like everybody heard, like in Rio, it's like moving all the people into the slums so that the athletes and stuff would have somewhere decent to stay, because there's kind of a weird ratio of nice places and slums, and there's way more slums.
They're getting their medals mugged off them on the beach.
Which is exactly what I said.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, I was about to ask Mark in the chat, but we'll go ahead and talk about it now. It's hilarious, man. It's like, why would you go to Rio, man? Really? Like, I mean.
Violent city, man.
The green water looks really inviting.
Hey,
Ivan and Annette, fuck you.
I was gaming with somebody, and he's like, yeah, there are these people that are doing rowing in this, river, one of the ones that's really fucked up and has tons of toxins in it and stuff. And they hit a couch. And they tipped over.
They hit a couch. I didn't hear that.
Are you serious?
When they lift up the oars.
They always miss some stuff. It
reminds me of
the couch.
It reminds me of those cartoons, where every time they put in the oar, they lift it up, and it's just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
You guys see the footage of the riots when they're trying to take the torch down the street, and there's people trying to knock the torch out of their hands? And what a nice place to have the games. Good pick, guys.
Yeah. I saw a mashup of all the muggings that they had on video the other day, and this was like 3 days in. Like, it had just started.
That
is true. I said this happened like every country, but you're right. They're right up there. They're like giving like 1936 a run for its money.
It's a pretty bad crime in.
There's gonna be an all-night YouTube session.
Brazil's like one fucking violent place, man.
I mean, why do you think all the...
You look up like 25 most violent cities in the world, and like 16 of them are in Brazil.
There's a reason why Anderson Silva lives in L.A.
Maybe next time they should have the Olympics in Venezuela. That would be much better, wouldn't it?
Paul and I were talking about...
I think we just want to leave that iffy area.
I know exactly what they're going to do.
Boards and stuff.
I know.
There.
I can already predict it. And eventually, probably in the next 15 years, Cuba will host it, because that will be their excuse to rebuild the country.
I'm okay with that. They kind of deserve to rebuild their country. They had Castro for like 50-some years, man. That can't be easy.
Yeah. An adjustment in their political system might help.
I mean, nothing knocked him out.
Are they still communists? I don't even remember.
World leaders came and went, but he stayed. I mean,
they're socialists now, I believe.
Okay.
Welcome to
communism light,
Welcome to Jaythestingray channel, where we go from Cole's sexual fantasies regarding 50 Shades of Grey to communism.
Nothing is off limits.
No rules.
No,
is crazy, man. Gotta stop North Korea. Power to South Korea. Let's go.
Well, that's the next Olympics, South Korea.
Yeah.
It's an improvement.
I was talking with Cole about not the next World Cup for soccer, but the one after. How like when people are like falling off, like dying, like building the structures, like the stadiums for soccer.
I know.
They just don't even give a shit. They're just like, oh, well.
There's like a massive death toll, like building that stadium, and it just keeps going up. It's just like, well, whatever.
See,
you do what you got to do.
I like South Korea. I'm glad they got it, but I don't want to sit through Kim Jong-un going, "I'm gonna nuke South Korea at the Olympics," or trying to hold everyone hostage.
Here's what he's gonna happen. He's gonna say, "We'll hold our own Olympics, and it'll be way better." That's what he's gonna do.
And Dennis Rodman's gonna be over there.
Dennis Rodman's gonna be there, and I invite all the cool countries to boycott those Olympics and come to ours.
No, that's gonna happen, and then China's gonna go, Kim, calm down, please. You're acting like a 2-year-old. Please, just calm down. That's what happens every time.
They're gonna give him a Snickers. Yeah, you're not yourself without your Snickers.
You don't act like you when you're being a bitch.
I mean, I know it was his dad, but when Parker and Stone did Team America, I'm sorry. I mean, turning his dad into Elmer Fudd, just basically going, "Why am I surrounded by people who are so fucking stupid?" It's just so hilarious.
I love that movie. It makes fun of everybody.
It's so relevant, even today. Everyone knows. It's awesome.
I think it's more relevant today than when it came out.
Yeah, that's true, because I think a lot of people weren't nearly as aware of Kim Jong-il until that movie came out. I think there were a lot of people that didn't know that much about him or who he was.
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Just like I always thought.
He's still pissed about that. He's still pissed.
Yeah.
Matt Damon came out the other day with Kevin Smith. He was like, "Why do they make fun of me like that in the movie?"
Actually, well, I guess he's.
I can't say his name without saying it like that.
Yeah. Matt Damon. I don't actually understand the joke at all. I think it's funny, but I don't understand the joke. Like, are they saying
he's a dumbass?
I don't know.
Matt Damon.
I cannot stand that guy. He's on my. I haven't seen the Bourne films because of him.
I mean, the fact that the Film Actors Guild is known as FAG in the movie is just hilarious.
Okay, thanks,
I love the speech at the end about dicks, assholes, and pussies. That's true.
It's a really good metaphor. It actually
That's
really
true.
works.
Because sometimes you just got to get the hell out of the way and let the dicks fuck the assholes. That's the way it is. Shut up, pussies. It's time for some fucking. I agree with that statement 100%.
You know, I heard the other day that they, the sex scenes in that movie, they were like way more graphic to begin with, just so they could get an R rating. Like,
I've seen some of the extended. There is a more extended version that I'm sure you've all seen and stuff with a bit more going on it and stuff like that.
But I think it's funny that they knew they were playing the game. They said, we'll put all this stuff in there that we don't even want in there anyway, just so we can get it cut down to how we actually want it.
Fuck you, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. Exactly.
Alec Baldwin.
You are worthless, Alec Baldwin. Yeah.
I mean, love those guys or hate them, but I mean, they talk shit about everybody. Like, nobody's off limits, and I love it. Like,
remember, the original plan for Team America was to just remake Armageddon with puppets. So.
My favorite song in that movie is like Ben Affleck Sucks or whatever.
Oh yeah, Pearl Harbor Sucks.
Pearl Harbor Sucks. Yeah, just a little bit more than I Miss You.
I mean, every time you hear anybody, I don't care, anyone, Republican or whoever, talking about freedom, you can't without hearing freedom isn't free.
I think that sort of country music would be way better if they put in some casual swearing like they do in that. It's like, there's a hip fucking beat. I'm like, fucking country music needs. Just throw in some F words here and there. You're always supposed to be about honesty in country music, so just put some more of that in.
Well, did you guys
tractor sexy?
Did you ever see the South Park movie?
It's a real song too.
The South Park movie sequel, kind of, that they did. It was like a bunch of episodes of South Park, but then they cut it together as one giant movie and then added more stuff into it called Imagination Land, in which Jason and Freddy and like the wood critters start fucking like Hello Kitty and Strawberry Shortcake and stuff like that. It's just really horrible.
Well,
but if you just get the seasons of South Park, you get like cut versions, but they made like a big 2-hour version of it on DVD called Imagination Land, and it's known as the second South Park movie.
I think the Woodland Critters. That was one of the better reveals I've ever seen in a movie in a show. When suddenly they're just like, "Hail Satan!" And it's a great turnaround.
Yeah.
More.
And I love that they're just a creation of Cartman's twisted mind.
Yeah. Was it Cartman or Butters?
Cartman created the Woodland Critters.
Oh,
There's a whole episode. It's called Woodland Critter Christmas, where he's telling a story,
right.
and they're his invention. So,
Oh, that's right.
I love when Butters goes to the urinal. He pulls his pants all the way down every single time. Like it just is. I used to know kids like that in school. Like, they'd be like, way too old to be doing it, still just all the way down on the ground.
The next one.
It's just hilarious.
You'd be at the urinal and they'd go into the stalls because you'd be at the urinal.
Well, it's funny. Cause it's funny though, because if you watch the first few seasons of the South Park, they didn't really talk about too much topical stuff. It was more of just, it was a random episode. Now almost every episode's a topical thing, but
yeah, they went, I think, too far in that direction.
Yeah,
but
I mean, come on. When Butters created Professor Chaos, and he would go into Denny's and just like flip meals, so like the person would get the wrong meal at their table.
Those were my favorite episodes. My favorite episodes were like around season 5 or 6, and there was a very small section where they killed Kenny and kept him dead for a while and tried to replace him. My favorite side character in the whole show was Tweak. So Tweak was front and center. And I just loved those episodes. Plus, I had that great episode. The one that featured him the most was the one where they were trying to stop George Lucas from remaking everything.
Was that the one? Was that the Indiana Jones one where like they say he was being raped?
No.
Man, that was rough.
No, this was quite a few years before that. It's called Free Hat, where like they try to like start like this society to stop like filmmakers from like remaking stuff because they were like watching like stuff about real remakes, like stuff like the Star Wars remakes, and then the stupid not remake but re-release of E.T., where they took the guns out and the bad language and stuff like that, and they wanted to, and they inadvertently started society to get like this horrible child murderer released because they thought they meant Hat, and his name was Hat and stuff. But anyway, I love Tweak, and I was so glad because there's finally an episode where he comes back, and it's the best episode of the season I saw, called Tweak X Craig or whatever. Where like all these Asian girls at the school start drawing weird. I can't remember I think it's Yaoi.
That episode.
Yeah, I love that, and and it's got like the best use of music ever. Like you almost feel something when that plays. But anyways, Tweak and Craig, where they start. I think it's called Yaoi, where they start making like weird fan art of them in like a gay relationship with each other, so that everybody just believes it's true. And they just wind up so forced by it that they just start going out anyway.
I remember there's a couple of them that just stand out in my head. One is when they finally killed Chef for real, and he like fell off the cliff.
And then he shit himself.
He got him killed.
In like the most undignified way possible.
But the one that shocked me the most was, I mean, I don't know if it shocked me like today, but I mean when I saw it back in 2002, I remember laying in bed, and it was late at night, and it was the episode Scott Tenorman Must Die.
Ah, yes.
And when it got revealed that Cartman killed this little boy's parents and fed it to him in a pie and then was licking his tears of sadness, I knew I was seeing something I wasn't supposed to see on TV.
Yeah, that was a big turning point for him. And then years later, they made like an episode where like that kid tries to get revenge on him and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's all fucked up and crazy. What I like best about that is that Scott Tenorman is a redhead. Because here's my big problem in life is redheaded boys. Every redheaded boy I ever knew growing up was a dick who I hated and had real problems with. I had actual physical fights with 3 different redheaded idiots.
Well, just so you know, every redhead is known to have a stinky crotch. So.
Oh.
No.
Well, nothing against any redheaded girls at all. Only the boys. Redheaded girls are fine. Even my sister. But yeah, that's my big prejudice. I probably don't like you if you're a redheaded guy. Just never
you're not gonna go see Chucky Meets Annabelle when that movie comes out?
No, I'm not. Would that even get a release? I mean, the last Chucky movie didn't get a release. It just went straight to whatever.
Check it out.
Jay, you're shaking your head over there. You wouldn't go see that movie?
God, they're probably going to make that too.
Yeah.
I can't even believe they made an Annabelle movie. Like, what was so great about it? It was just like, okay, here's a doll, and it turns out it's not even haunted. Like, that was the point in the first movie. They were like, the doll isn't haunted at all. The demon's moving around to fuck with you. But then they're like, let's just make a whole movie where the doll is haunted anyway.
Cool. Let me explain something to you. Annabelle was made for $6 million. That's it. And it made 300 worldwide.
Who are you idiots going to that?
I saw it.
Oh, you idiot. Good job.
So there's going to be Annabelle 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're going to make a story around every one of those things in the Warren's little scary room.
Yeah, but what is this I'm hearing? Conjuring 3, they're going to take on werewolves? What the hell?
Oh, shit, man.
Cryptozoology, nice.
Well, they've kind of run out of real history, so they have to start inventing, I guess.
I guess they can't do the Amityville, huh?
The Conjuring versus...
They touched on that in the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really liked the last one. I thought it was better than the first one.
Yeah,
I was really surprised.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Haven't seen it yet, no spoilers?
But werewolves?
Everybody dies, Orc.
All right.
Oh, God.
You know, I heard today that there may be
all Kevin Bacon's dream.
A 21 Jump Street and Men in Black mashup movie.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they smoking in Hollywood, man?
Well, here's the thing, though. Sony owns those properties, but wouldn't you say, just on paper, that if you were going to do a mashup, it should be Men in Black meets Ghostbusters, not 21 Jump Street? If you were going to do any of them, and Sony owns all of them, you know.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. There's nothing sci-fi about fucking 21 Jump Street.
No. And the fact that Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, Jonah Hill, and Channing Tatum all said they're not doing it, so it would be all new people. So it would be basically Dumb and Dumber when Harry met Lloyd. It would be that kind of a thing.
Even worse, though.
That turned out great.
I dodged that bullet, thank you.
I mean, I kind of...
You bought Son of the Mask, so don't talk.
Oh, shit.
No, I bought The Mask. I never saw Son of the Mask, but yeah.
I've never seen
The
it.
thing about Harry Met Lloyd was Bob Saget.
He's in that?
About that movie, yeah.
Bob Saget, I remember he got a lot of acclaim in the mid-'90s for standing up in the movie Dirty Work and saying that he, somehow he does cocaine or...
He used to suck dick for coke.
That's it.
That was Half-Baked.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Half-Baked.
I like Dirty Work.
I quote that all the time, and nobody gets it.
One of the characters goes to rehab for marijuana, and he's like, "You're in here for some marijuana? You ever suck dick for marijuana? I suck dick for cocaine." And this other guy's like, "Yeah, I seen him."
Yeah. Bob Saget's hilarious, and he's on Full House.
He's the opposite of that character.
Yeah.
Jay, are you watching Fuller House then?
No, I'm not.
I've watched some of it.
Why not? Are you sexist, Jay?
And I mean, I guess it's sort of brilliant because they were like, okay, all this time has passed. We know exactly how stupid and bad the old show was. We could do something completely different and make it good. And they're like, but that would be a mistake. We'll make it just as bad and stupid in the exact same way on purpose. And that's what they did. And I kind of respect that because it's probably the right thing to do. So yeah, I've seen 6 or 7 episodes.
Can we just contact on Twitter, what's his name, David Rasche, and just bring back Sledgehammer on Netflix, please?
You're talking about a reboot?
Yeah, no, well, just bring him back.
Oh.
I think if any time needs a non-PC comedy hero, Sledgehammer.
I used to love that show.
I've never seen it.
I had a teacher that had the last name Sledge. I always thought about that when I go to school the next day.
I thought it was a Peter Gabriel reference or something.
No. Orc, you need to see the show Sledgehammer if you haven't seen it. You'd like it.
I need to see a lot of stuff. So, Jay, how
we
was
can make a pretty good
Deadpool?
stuff Orc hasn't seen.
Have you guys seen the Martyrs remake?
No.
I didn't
We
see
talked
the
about
point.
Martyrs earlier.
Again, I
Isn't
don't
it
see the point
PG-13?
of seeing a remake of it. I don't see what they could do that would add to it or be better.
I just think it's hilarious. Why remake that movie?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a very straightforward movie. It's not like it's aged or something.
It's French.
Yeah, I don't read, boy.
Le Croissant?
Yeah, but
the
it
French
doesn't
is
make
a
any
little
sense.
tough in some spots, I'll say. Because
But you can turn...
There's some stuff that doesn't sync up for me at all, and I realize my French is not as good as it used to be. But the French in that movie, it's tough in some spots.
But you can turn every DVD into a dubbed. So what's the point?
Of what?
You know, of why remake it when you can just dub every movie on DVD? I mean, you can just change the language and watch it in English.
Oh, hey Cameron, here's an answer to your question.
I mean, yeah,
about
dubbing sucks, but it's better than a horrible remake.
You were talking about the Warrens making that movie about the werewolves.
Yeah.
Red Band Cast says there's actually a Warren case involving lycanthropy.
Of course there is. I shouldn't have shot my mouth off. Of course there was.
It's their least credible story, but who knows? It could be good. I'm on board as long as Juan directs.
It'll still probably be better than the Blair Witch remake.
Green light.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What
So
the
I
fuck,
saw
man?
the preview for it, and all it looks like is like there's just more people this time.
No, but
Now there's like 8 people. Oh,
I posted a video a couple weeks ago about it saying, did you notice that all the great reviews from it are all coming from the guy's friends, from the director's friends?
That's a shocker. Bloody disgusting. Shop till you drop.
I'm not the audience for that anyway. I never liked the first Blair Witch.
Well, any idiot knows you follow the river downstream to get out of the woods, and they show the river flowing, and they go, which way do we go? We'll go that way, the other way. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't there a movie coming out in like next month called The Woods? I saw a
That's
preview
it.
for
That's
that.
Blair Witch. That's Blair Witch 3.
Get on top
Blair
of your
Witch 3
memes,
is
Cole.
The Woods?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, then I saw 2 very different previews.
Is that handheld camera version, or is it just
No, see, this one they have drones, so we're going to get aerial shots.
Because the one I saw, The Woods, didn't look found footage in the slightest.
No, it was a fake trailer.
Oh, this is...
Ooh.
Oh, that pisses me off.
Cole wanted to see the woods.
Yeah, I kind of did.
He thought it was a remake of that Lucky McKee movie.
Oh my
Well,
god!
I thought it actually wasn't a sequel or remake at all. I thought it was, oh, here's something, derivative, sure, but at least,
Hey, if
not
there's
a sequel,
any
not a
good,
remake.
if there's any good we're gonna get out of Blair Witch 3 is we're gonna get a director's cut of Blair Witch 2 finally. I'm sure. On
I
DVD.
do have a soft spot for Blair Witch 2, just because of its time
I love that
period.
movie.
It's time period, and it's like stuff. There's some stuff going for it. It was an odd thing to do. I mean, why you would do that as a sequel to the first one?
It probably made money. That was
it made money on name alone. I'm just like, why did you do it that way? But since again, I never cared about the first one, I found it kind of refreshing that it was so different. Well, a lot of other people were like, it's not like the first one. I hate it. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, but it's like, why remake something like Martyrs or stuff like that? I mean, if you're gonna I don't know. To me, it's like if you're gonna pick something if someone put a gun to your head and said you have to remake a film, wouldn't you want to find something that like wasn't perfect to begin with but had a great concept that just
that's what I used to think was the point of remakes when they first started, becoming around. Silly me. Yeah. All remakes really are is name recognition, cash grab.
Yeah.
I mean, are writers in Hollywood now just like hired to do, touch-ups on other old scripts? I mean, I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. Everything is something else.
Because I've seen lots of movies that I think had great concepts, but maybe because of budget or whatever, weren't executed that well, and a remake could really help them, but nobody gives a shit about them. Like, what was a movie? I think it was called The Quiet Earth or The Hollow Earth. It's like a New Zealand movie about like this guy like waking up to discover he's supposedly the only person left and stuff, and it's really quite cool. And it probably wasn't a big movie, and it seems like the type of thing that would be good to make a remake, but it would just turn into some Will Smith thing, like they did with I Am Legend or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I think another thing that happens in like Dimension films, I know I've talked to a few people that have written for them, and they'll be working on a horror script, and then they'll come to them and they'll be like, we could turn this script into a Hellraiser sequel straight to DVD. And then you go, okay, I guess we got to work that into Pinhead and this, and then they start working on that, and then a movie like The Others comes out or something like that, and they go, oh, you know what really works? Ghost movies. Can we put some ghosts in this movie? And that's how we get the shit that we get. A movie starts with a vision, and then by the end it becomes a deformed hippopotamus.
Yeah.
The Quiet Earth, that's what it's called. The Quiet Earth. Cool movie. Not many New Zealand movies out there.
Nobody wants to put any money behind things that aren't,
Proven.
Already established properties. But I mean, like, I'd love to see a spreadsheet of those numbers. Like, what are the chances that you take something old, make something new, and it actually does well? I mean.
Yeah. I mean, and the problem is it takes guys like us that love the horror genre, and we're left shaking our heads, just like, oh my god, And then of course the new generation of horror fans who haven't seen a lot of the stuff that we have, go, oh, you guys are just old timers. You guys don't like anything new. And it's like, no, that's not true at all. We just want it to be good.
Well, it's like I saw that already done, 30 years ago.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that was the bad thing, is that the whole decade of the aughts so far, a lot of it has been us just having to relive our childhood, only shittier. It's like, here's the new movie again. Like, I saw this back in the 80s. It's
kind of defined by that.
Yeah.
I keep thinking, okay, we're at the end of this, no more remakes. But I mean, seriously, like, what's left? Jaws, I guess E.T., that kind of Spielberg shit.
But you know what they haven't touched yet? And I'm surprised they haven't, because Eli Roth has even done the Green Inferno, but we haven't touched any of the Argento or Bava movies yet. They haven't done Demons. They haven't done, Suspiria. They haven't done any of that stuff.
Maybe they just figure they're not well enough now. I hope that means they'll leave them alone. Because, I mean, Suspiria is a big name for people like us, but it's not a big name for most people.
No, but I'm telling you that in America, if you did it right, even though I love this movie and I know it's got its fans and detractors, I think if you had a fucked up director, you could really make an interesting modern version of Phenomena with the Jennifer Connelly Argento movie today. That's a fucking crazy ass movie, and you could kind of do an update version of that wouldn't offend, I think, too many people, as long as you kept the Motorhead soundtrack.
I mean, not everything Argento did was perfect anyway, but he had a really great run.
Yeah.
But Demons would be like Demons meets Gremlins. That'd be a good movie.
I love Demons, man. I mean, I just think it would be so easy to just call it something else, but
yeah,
I guess name.
Well, they tried it, right? Demons 3 was The Church, right?
Oh yeah, there was like 6 or 7 different Demons 3s.
Yeah,
I don't think a Gremlins 3 is a bad idea necessarily.
I used to know them off the top of my head. The Church is probably one of the better ones. There was Black Demons was one. It's like all these guys in Italy at the time made one.
Yeah. Well, there's like 3 Last House on the Left 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just look at the international titles of all these movies. They're just different sequels to previous movies that have nothing to do with the original other than the title.
And they weren't planning on the internet discovering all these title snafus. You know what I mean? Like so they were just like, oh, okay, we'll just do our own thing. And now it's like IMDb's like, what the fuck? We got 5 of these movies.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast about the video nasties the other day, and I know one of the titles in America was Horrible. That was the name of it, was Horrible. Yeah. It was Anthropophagus 2 or 3 over in the UK. That was the video nasty title. And it was a few others, and they were not even in order. They would make like part 3 before they would make part 2.
Yeah.
It's just pretty interesting how that comes out.
A couple of years ago, I was on a quest to watch like all those, and I kind of bailed out. But I watched about 7 or 8 of them.
I've tried to do that about 3 or 4 times, and there's so many that are just terrible.
Oh yeah,
that's the problem.
It's like, who cares? It was bad. No one needs to see it anyway.
A few years ago, I watched all the Hellraiser movies in a week, which I'd never done. I'd never gone past 4. I refuse to watch the whole Howling series. I can't even. I just think about that and I go no. And I haven't watched all the Children of the Corns yet. There's like 9 of them.
Oh, don't do
God.
Well, I got one of those Dimension $5 ones at Walmart, where it's like the whole series on 2 discs, and they even threw in Halloween 6 on
wow.
A young Naomi Watts is in one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Is there any like series that you haven't like seen like the whole series of that like just seemingly go on forever?
Most of them.
I haven't seen all the Amityvilles.
I bail on sequels like nobody's business, man. I don't I don't put myself through the stuff that a lot of the guys on the show do.
Yeah.
You know, where they're aware of all these like straight to video like sequels for horror movies and stuff. Like I'm aware of them, but I do not watch them. Life's too short.
But you've seen all 10 Friday the 13th movies, Cole.
Yeah, I guess because they were at least theatrical releases. That doesn't necessarily mean that the quality is that much better, but it's a big thing. Yeah. So I've seen all the Halloweens, I've seen all the Friday the 13th and stuff, but what happens so often in horror is you'll have one movie, pretty good movie, cult following maybe, and then boom, 10,000 straight to video sequels over the years that are just worse and worse and worse and get further and further from the source material. I mean, for pretty much anything. Name anything. Children of the Corn, Hellraiser, anything.
Pie.
Anything.
Those all went to theater, unfortunately.
Not all of them.
Well, I guess not the newer ones. Yeah.
I saw Bandcamp.
But they did three. They did 3 Bandcamp movies, and then they came out with American Reunion that went to theaters.
Oh.
They did 3 Bandcamp movies?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's one called American. Well, there's one called American Pie Naked Mile, which is Bandcamp.
I've heard of. Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of that one.
What is that, like a Redbox exclusive?
I've only seen American Pie 2, and American Pie Bandcamp. I never saw the third one, and I never saw any of the others. I loved how lazy American Pie 2 was. It didn't even really have a plot. It was just some stuff happening. They were like, here's those characters, and some stuff's happening, and enjoy. So lazy.
I didn't like American Pie when it came out. I thought it was lame then.
When I saw American Pie, I was like, again, we're talking about horror movies and like we've seen it 30 years ago. Yeah. I was watching American Pie going, okay, this is like the Porky's remake Universal's been wanting to make for years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the thing about American Pie, though. Was like sex comedies had basically died by the time Porky's was done, and there hadn't been any in forever. And they kind of opened the door for that again. I'm not saying in a great way.
Not really.
Well,
we didn't get it anymore. Every horror movie in the 90s didn't have any nudity.
I was talking about sex comedies.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, like those teenagey kind of films, like they used to all be tits and ass. And then
I know.
You don't see those anymore.
Terrible. I mean, they're just so watered down. Like I said, I couldn't watch Halloween H2O and stuff. Like it's barely even violent, let alone nudity.
I mean, forget about. You talk about remakes. I mean, someone should try to remake Screwballs or Hot Dog the movie or something like that.
I don't think there's a market for that anymore because I know for me, like, I always wanted to see that shit because of the nudity. When I was younger.
Yeah.
But now, you don't really have to search out at all.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Go ahead.
22, baby. Oh yeah, let's go. Greatest Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps. Yeah.
Actually, he's very good at swimming in a pool. Hooray.
Actually,
that's I think hard, man.
He's a genetic freak.
I think the best sort of remake of in the style of Screwballs and those kind of Porky's type of movies, honestly, was The Wolf of Wall Street. That movie just felt like a 1980s like sex comedy.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies that I liked watching it, but I could never probably bother watching again. Like I've seen
Oh really?
I've seen it, and now it's sort of over for me. Like I enjoyed it. I'm a big Leo DiCaprio fan.
Yeah.
And I like it's basically like the Leo DiCaprio show, but I just mean not just because it's so long. It's just
yeah, but the scene where he's
a lot of those true stories seem to always have the same thing. It's the same thing as Goodfellas.
It is.
I mean, I can't get on it anyway because it's true life, but it's always the same thing. It's like
I love
time does pay, drugs do pay. Like you have an awesome time. It's like. And guess what? You're not in prison now either. Yeah, you live a more watered down life, but at least you have your good memories, and you're not in prison. It's like go do these things. It's worth it. Is what they're telling me.
Cole, I love Goodfellas, but Goodfellas doesn't have a scene of a character on Quaaludes trying to climb down some stairs. One of the greatest scenes in recent memories.
Leo deserved an Oscar for that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he got one for the other, right? It was just sort of like he deserved an Oscar for at least one or two other movies
it's
that he didn't get it for.
Yeah, I mean Russell Crowe winning the Oscar for Gladiator. Obviously, that was for The Insider. the year before. You know, win Best Actor for Gladiator.
Wolf of Wall Street, to me, that was one of those movies where it was like, it took me a while to watch it, but once I got around to it, I was like, this is fucking epic. But as much as Jay likes it, I'm gonna go with Cole here. Like, what is it, 3 hours and 15 minutes, something like that? Really long runtime.
Yeah, a little bit over.
Still, I mean, it's epic as fuck seeing Leonardo DiCaprio just like spaz out on coke and just go nuts. They're like, yeah, we're gonna fucking sell some shit.
Yeah.
Just like going insane.
I was disappointed that Matthew McConaughey's only like at the beginning. The previews made it look like he was a major character, but he's just there at the beginning to sort of set him on his path, then he goes away.
That's fine, because he looked like he hadn't gained any weight yet from the Dallas Buyers Club. He still looked like
he still has
75
AIDS.
pounds. Yeah. Yeah.
Spoiler.
It's a tough schedule.
Everyone has AIDS. AIDS.
And then that got him into, you don't know where you're going, but I'm in a Buick. So it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, man, on the runtime on that. You can trim it down a little bit.
The same thing
I'm
goes
not
for that.
saying that, actually. I'm not saying that at all.
But wouldn't you argue?
I absorbed the movie, and I liked it fine, and that's kind of that.
But
and the runtime just makes it a little hard to come back to. But I don't think the movie could be improved or be better if you cut things out of it.
But
I just feel like it's a bit of a hurdle.
Couldn't you argue
For
though
rewatchability.
that the fact of what that movie is doing and what it's about, the fact that it's 3 hours and 10 minutes just adds to the excess nature of it?
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm not criticizing its length. I think it's probably as long as it needed to be. All I'm saying is it hurts its rewatchability for me. But I don't think it was too long. I think it told the story it needed to tell in the way it needs done, and I wouldn't say cut any of it.
I see what you're both saying, but that's why I haven't seen The Hateful Eight yet. Just because, like, I'm not impatient, but it's just like, that's a long fucking movie.
I haven't seen it yet because I saw Django and was completely underwhelmed by Django, and I was so disappointed when I first heard about Hateful Eight because I just didn't want him to do another one of those movies in that era. I wanted him to move on and do something different. Now, it might be very different from Django, I guess, even though I guess it's still full of nigger and stuff like that because he just loves that.
Throw it!
But you know, I don't know. I mean, I'll eventually get around to seeing the movie, but I'm just, I just still feel so let down by Django, and I know that's not fair to judge it based on another movie before, but that's just sort of my mindset right now. It's like I just want him to do a new story, new setting somewhere else. I don't want to see any more Old West bullshit.
The runtime is definitely one that's going to affect rewatchability on that one for me. I mean, there's a fucking intermission in there. That's kind of
I think the problem with The Hateful Eight is that you can, it's certainly wonderful the first time you watch it. I think the problem is, though, because a lot of it has to deal with surprises, that once you know the surprises, I mean, you can go back and watch it maybe one more time, but then you're going to have to just go back and watch it for the dialogue and stuff, because otherwise there's nothing really to surprise you. You know everything. You know, it's very much Reservoir Dogs for 3 hours. Like, it's the same style, the same revelations.
I'll get around to it at some point. But
yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. I mean, it's a great movie, but it is a bit long. It is.
Okay,
again, I'm not criticizing the length. I'm not going to criticize the length of something I haven't seen, especially.
That's what she said.
Oh. Oh.
But yeah, I always bitch about the length of movies, but.
But you know what, though? I'll say this: no good movie can be too long. No bad movie can be too short.
That's what I mean. Movies
true.
Are as long as they should be. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad,
I just feel like it's a trend now. Like, if it's not over 2 hours, people are not going to get what they expect.
But wouldn't you feel angry?
There's certainly overly bloated movies out there.
If you paid Extinction. If you go to LA, get a matinee ticket for $14, and your movie's 85 minutes, I would feel ripped off. I need that 4-hour experience.
That's true. That is very true. I get that. Yeah,
well,
paying that much to get out of there in 90 minutes, I mean, yeah.
Well, I just think about, from the theater's perspective, they want it to be as short as possible to get another runtime
play it as much as they can.
Get an extra showing.
But I agree with you, but that's how we grew up, Jay. Now theaters open up their goddamn movies at 12:01 a.m. and play all night.
Yeah.
So I mean, they
and I
they
mean,
don't
don't tell me they
they
can't survive. This is the age of fucking multiplexes where there's a billion screens anyway. Think about it. Think about like them playing like those big epics back in the 50s. They were like 3 and 4 hours long, and they only had one goddamn screen to do it.
Yeah.
And they still made their money.
And Gone with the Wind is still the biggest moneymaker of all time when tickets were fucking 5 cents.
I know. You adjust it. That's a movie I watched not too long ago. I hadn't seen it in so long.
Ran for like 25 years or something.
It had a million re-releases.
Yeah. Oh, it's
but they tried to they wanted to ban it after they pulled down the Confederate flag after the shooting happened. There was a whole like piece you can find it on the internet. I mean, Time magazine, I think it was, people and whoever. There's a few other people that called out for Gone with the Wind to be pulled and banned, like Birth of a Nation and all that shit.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
And it's like, listen, to erase history is you're saying that is going to make it so it never happened? Come on.
Yeah. And I mean, I get there were some, bad things just about how the film was done too, not just its, its subject matter is a subject matter, because like inviting all the actors to the premiere except for the black ones, yeah, that's pretty bad, But that wasn't okay, but it's over and done with a long time ago. I don't think anybody watching the movie now is saying, oh, I'm okay with that. I don't think that at all.
No, the saying like if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. So if you erase it, nobody knows about it. They're going to repeat it without knowing it. So it's a good lesson. Like, that's what we used to be, and this is what we are now, and that's why it's better now. So I don't know.
That's why we're doomed to repeat all these remakes.
We're just caught in a goddamn loop with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all deja vu. Haven't we bitched about this before?
Probably. Same bad time, same bad channel.
As long as they keep doing it, we'll keep bitching.
Well, someone has to stand up to them. You can't just let them just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the new Resident Evil movie?
No. Does it look like all the others?
I mean, if I ever...
This is the movie they postponed
because
she's pregnant.
I finally found something that needs to be rebooted and remade, and it's those. Just completely throw all the others in the garbage and start over and actually try to... I understand if I say try to follow the video games, because the video games are a very difficult thing to follow, and they're very scattered and have a very crazy storyline. So I know you can't just do it exactly, but I mean, come on.
And they're not any good either anymore.
They need to apologize to George Romero.
I mean, you want to talk about like cognitive dissonance. I mean, look no further than that series of movies versus what it's based on. Like, I just hate what they did with it. Creating the character of Alice for no reason and just turning into just some sort of just action shitfest.
Well, they're bringing back your Lara Croft.
My Lara Croft?
Yep, make it rain, Jay.
Which one's my Lara Croft?
Got that shit, son.
No, they're rebooting Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
The game or the movie?
They already rebooted the series.
Oh,
it was really good.
Yeah. But my favorite thing is, have you guys heard this shit about The Rock coming out on Twitter against Vin Diesel and Scott Eastwood?
I heard there was some sort of feud involving that series.
I didn't hear him name any names.
Yeah, they've narrowed it down. They said it's not Luda.
We just don't need movies based on games. I mean, games are so cinematic now. I mean, they do what they're supposed to do. Why would I want a lesser experience?
Aren't they making 5 Minutes of Freddy? I think they're doing that as a movie.
Not surprised.
I mean, people talk about like doing an Uncharted movie. What the fuck would be the point?
Yeah.
He's already perfect as he is. I don't want to see some approximation of him do some watered-down plot for 2 hours when you can have the real him and control him and for how many hours and get a good real story out of it.
Did you see Uli Bull's Paperboy? Is that one he did? He did one of them.
With Zac Efron?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
I love the idea of those two working together, though.
Uwe Boll's best movie was Postal. God, that movie's funny.
I've never seen
it. I remember I was at one of the Fangoria conventions, and I was getting my autograph done by Guillermo del Toro. I think it was for, I don't know, one of his movies, and they were playing at the same time because sometimes they do autograph sessions behind like a screen, right, where people are watching what's coming up next, and they showed a behind the scenes featurette for House of the Dead before it came out. Wow. And Guillermo del Toro said to me, you want to see some fucking crazy ass shit? Come with me. And he pulls me aside and goes, watch this. And I'm looking at it and he goes, can you believe this guy? Look at this shot. He was so amazed by Uli Bull's like filmmaking. And this is before House of the Dead came out. I don't know what he thought of it after it came out.
It could be that
he was
bad.
serious. He was like, this is going to be good.
Yeah, he thought it was like the...
Wow.
Oh, really?
He thought it looked great.
That. Somebody as artistic and competent as him? Wow.
Have you seen his house?
Guillermo del Toro likes a lot of B shit.
Yeah, I know, and it shows up in his work and stuff, but I mean, his work is just such high quality. Man, I really loved his last movie. Crimson Peak. That was so good.
Yeah, great.
I thought it looked great, but I thought the story was...
I understand that a lot of people were looking for something kind of different, and it wasn't what they expected.
Well, that's how they...
And you're right. The best part about it was how it looked. The story wasn't amazing, but the best thing about it was just how it looked. Oh my god. Like,
it was amazing.
The use of color is like the best use of color I've seen in a movie since fucking like Argento's best like movies. So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely need to rewatch it. It has a really good murder scene in it. Only one, but it is really good and stuff. And yeah, no, by the time I'd seen it, I'd already heard it wasn't a backlash, but I heard a lot of people being, saying they were kind of let down by it. And I kind of get what they mean, but I mean, if you just sort of take it for what it is, I think it's just as good as anything he's done, really.
Yeah, they kind of promoted it as a horror movie, as a ghost movie, but really it's like a romantic triangle thing.
Yeah, I mean, it had, and I get that, but it's really
that's
good.
The other thing.
Plus, like I said, I just love Jessica Chastain. She's like, my favorite actress out there right now as far as just acting talent.
Maybe we should briefly talk about this. The fact that, like you said, it was advertised as a horror film and it wasn't. Well, there's a guy that's actually got passed. He is going to be suing Warner Brothers because the Suicide Squad trailers had 60% footage of footage that's not in the movie. And so he said it's false advertising to sell me on a movie that doesn't exist, that you're not showing to us. And
good for him, because I'm tired of that. I've seen that in tons of things, right?
Because they said that majority of the Joker's footage isn't in the movie, and so it got accepted. And on I think within a month he's going to court against Warner Brothers.
Good. Take some of their money. I don't usually cheer on people with.
I mean, to encourage that type of activity, man. We got enough bullshit going on with that.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be a one against the studio. It should be a class action lawsuit. Every single person.
Yeah, it shouldn't be just him, obviously.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Like email the studio if you bought a ticket?
Well, it's a truth in advertising thing. I mean, a trailer is an advertisement, and it's technically, I guess, has merit.
Like I said, I do agree with calling them on it. Like, because I've seen plenty of movies where like something that was really prominently figured in the trailer wasn't there at all. Like, I'd be waiting for it.
Or it's a different shot, like, you know what I mean, like what I've been hearing is in the Jason Bourne movie, in the trailer there's a shot of him walking up to a guy and just punching him out, and that sold a lot of people on going to see the movie. But when they went to see it, it was a shot that was taken from the back, it's not the same angle, and so it doesn't have the same effect.
This is true.
And people get really pissed off when you go to see something. You're being sold on it, a line, a scene, and you go see it.
Sometimes it'll completely it'll be a different take of the line or something, and it'll be delivered really differently. I'm not saying that ruins the movie, but for somebody like me that has a really good memory, it just surprises me. I'm just like, that's not how they said it.
That's a very slippery slope, though. I mean, just imagine the kind of shit that's going to come out if you allow that to go through. I mean, it's not like...
I get that, but there's an easy solution, and it's just called, put out trailers that have what's actually in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a very simple solution. It's not like we're putting the film industry, we're not holding a gun to their head and making it an impossible demand. We're just saying, here, just do what you're supposed to do. It's very simple.
I don't like it when it's like one or two little things like that bothers me. But Suicide Squad, 60% of the footage was not in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's
a problem.
Ridiculous.
But I mean, it's not a product. I mean, it's an experience. It's not, I mean, this is shit the lawyers are going to say, but it's like, it's not like we're selling $5 TVs and you go in and they're $6. It's. I mean, how many movies have you seen that there's stuff not in the trailer, or they're just going to say, well, it's going to be in the DVD extras, or whatever.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to pay twice.
Yeah, that's paying
but
twice.
It's not when they released that, Red Band trailer, it's not a finished product yet.
They shouldn't do that.
Like you know how sometimes like you know how sometimes you'll buy like a Blu-ray and it'll come with a movie ticket to go see like, oh, you know, this is towards $8 to see Star Trek, whatever. Maybe when you go see a movie now, for your $14 price that you pay for your ticket, they should give you a streaming code.
Oh, so you guys don't have that?
You can just come home and just really?
It's called
Pirate Bay.
It's like no. When you go see a movie at my theater, you can always buy an ultimate ticket. It costs a bit more, but that's what it does.
Oh, really?
After a certain amount of time, the code works for you, and you can have a digital copy of the movie. That's at my theater, Cineplex.
We need to bring that to America.
There's always a big commercial.
No, because honestly,
the absolute best way to own a movie.
I will go to Best Buy. I will go to Best Buy and actually buy a Blu-ray and then take the movie ticket and go see a movie, because at least I'm getting something for my money, as opposed to just a 90-minute experience and then I'm done. Like, I want to have something, you know, tangible. And so if I went to a movie and they were to give me, you know, Suicide Squad comes out at Christmas, here's the streaming code for it, put it in your Vudu account when you get home, I'd be more inclined to go to movies more often.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
Yeah. That's a rough situation there. I don't know.
I don't see that ever happening in the States, though. I don't think Hollywood's going to give it away. They want you to buy the Blu-ray.
I want you to buy it twice.
They want you to buy it twice. They're not going to give it to you free.
Well, you know, the States is it's a place where, you know, people shoot people over talking over trailers, and you know, and also we don't even have. I mean, this is a good thing. Everyone else says it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing that we don't have assigned seating at movie theaters. I hate that shit.
Yeah,
you go to a movie.
They do have that.
I hate it. We only have it in our IMAX. It's only if you buy an IMAX.
Draft House.
Yeah.
It's
only
normal.
When food's involved.
It's normal otherwise, but yeah, if you buy an IMAX ticket here, it's assigned, which I think is stupid.
I went to Boston last year. Like, where do you want to sit? I'm like, fucking where I choose, and they're like, no, you get to pick. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Center field, son.
No, I just. Yeah. It should be first come, first serve. I mean, that's why we get to movies early, so we can.
And I truly miss double features. When I was younger, yeah, if a movie came out and it was out for like 2 or 3 weeks, by the third week it was double bill with something else, and you could just, you know, whatever one you went to see first, you could stay for the next one after. So in a way, you could sit there all day if you wanted to.
I'm not quite that old. Although it's true, our old theater, the Vogue, would put on special double features. Like, that's how I saw Scream 2. I saw Scream 2 and Halloween H2O as a double feature.
Ooh.
And what was it? Scream 2 and what?
Halloween H2O.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were released by the same company, so I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
And
I know I saw at least another couple different double. Oh, I saw. What did I see? I saw another weird double feature in like '96. I know one of them was the Beavis and Butthead movie, Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Do America.
I can't remember what the other one was, but it was something that like was hilariously like not like should not have been part of it at all. I can't remember what
Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, it was a couple years before that, but yeah, I saw a couple. I did see a couple double features at the Vogue before it shut down and stuff, and I've seen double and triple features at the drive-in. We used to have a thing called Dusk Till Dawn at the drive-in where they show like 5 movies going all night.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we used to do it as like high school kids, but I mean, we didn't pay a lot of attention to the movies. We were busy screwing and doing drugs and stuff.
Popping them bras off, son.
Well, have you guys ever thought about going to Austin and sitting through their 24-hour butt numbathon?
You'll need something much better if you get me into Texas.
I second that. Fuck them.
Whoa.
Oh, I didn't say that, but yes.
Oh shit. My memory's gone to shit now.
If they start like giving away Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, then I'll go down there.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
The dumb kid from Transformers that is what's his name?
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. Did you see the thing when he did was it 24-hour movie? He watched all of his movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I have to say, I like Shia LaBeouf. He's kind of like the new Crispin Glover because he just sees himself as a performer and he's out of his goddamn mind and does a bunch of dumb shit. I like it.
If you were directed by Michael Bay for 3 consecutive movies, you might be insane too.
Yeah, so he's just always doing weird stuff, and he just calls, like, this is performance art. When I punched that guy in the face in the parking lot, it was performance art. like okay, whatever.
I think, there's going to be a time where him and James Franco get together and create something. James Franco, the guy who actually masturbated onto a Batman helmet and then put it up on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, James Franco, I was okay with you. I hate your stupid brother, but I was okay with you.
James Franco, the one who actually was banged a 17-year-old in New York just to promote his film Palo Alto.
Dedication.
Yeah. Must be real rough. Just smoke a lot of weed and do whatever the fuck you want. It's a hard life.
Well, it's a hard life, but at least I'll give James Franco one point, is that he's fucking productive, man. He gets a lot done.
Isn't he teaching somewhere? There's some
he always does that. He's like, this is an acting class. And they're like, this is a sex scene. This is like, do it harder. And they're like, He's like, do it harder. And like, no, you're not. Just feel the scene. I'm like,
have a seat on my couch.
I wanna have James Franco yell, do it harder at me.
No, yeah, he like tweets it out or puts it on his Facebook page or some. I don't fucking know where I see it. But
see, that's what I'm talking about. Or between him and Shia LaBeouf, Shia doing just do it, and
do it harder, do it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put
I feel really bad for the people who actually pay for those classes.
He was in the second part of, what is it, the Infomaniac Diaries or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Lars von Trier.
James Franco almost started World War III.
That's like fucking 6 hours.
I mean, Franco almost started World War III with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, he turned into a whole bunch of
Good
nothing.
movie.
But, I mean, I did what everybody did. I saw the movie just sort of like to say, screw you. I'm going to watch it because I want to, because at the time it was like, oh, you can't watch it, or we're not going to release it, and, it's like...
Some people disliked it, but Eminem is gay.
But,
I thought it had its moments. It was kind of funny.
It had its moments.
Yeah, no, it's funny. But the thing is, though, back in the 40s, Charlie Chaplin took on Adolf Hitler and the Great Dictator. Now we have Seth Rogen taking on North Korea.
Not really the same.
No.
At least they
said they were going to nuke us if they show the movie. Was that what it was?
Yeah, and the Draft House was like, fuck them, we're going to show it.
Oh, please. You got to show it, man. God damn. Can we not, nut up for once? God damn.
Some theaters released Team America.
They wanted to, yeah. But then Paramount wouldn't let them release Team America. Oh, my God, it was ridiculous. But so they released it on YouTube, of all places, and Vudu.
Yeah, I went like 2 weeks later and tried to watch it. It wasn't on there anymore. It was only there for like a week.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe for that holiday weekend. Was that Thanksgiving or Christmas weekend or whatever it was?
Around there,
yeah. Oh, man. Fucking James Franco.
He's an artist. Oh, a really weird movie with him and Jonah Hill.
Oh, the true story?
Yeah.
I didn't know they worked together.
It's a crime thriller.
Yeah, it's just based on a true story about a journalist that starts interviewing with this guy that probably killed his family, but made up lies and stuff. I mean, that's all you really get out of it. It's like, oh, he's just a liar telling a bunch of lies, sucking this guy in. But the thing is, how they're still kind of friends, even though a bunch of weird stuff happened between them. Well, it's not bad.
It's already in the $5 bin at Best Buy.
Yeah, I saw it on Netflix. It's worth a watch. It's all right.
Did you watch any of the Preacher series, Cole?
I'm going to. I haven't yet. I have not yet. I'm going to. It's something I plan to do.
I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to. I'm such a huge fan of Preacher.
Well, just so you know,
it kind of takes for me.
It takes 6 episodes to get. When you sit through all 6 episodes, there's still an issue 2. Of the series. They haven't, so just be aware they haven't left town yet.
Wow.
That could be good. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch Luke Cage in September, but I'm waiting for Iron Fist. That's what I think.
That looks like That actually looks like a real blaxploitation film.
Like I said, I hope that like maybe they'll make him into like the Luke Cage I'm used to. Because if you see Luke Cage in Jessica Jones, he's all sad and mopey. I'm gonna keep my head down. Like it's the complete opposite of Luke Cage, and they give him a weird damaged backstory. Like Luke Cage is just supposed to be in your face, hero for hire. Doesn't give a fuck, you know.
Well,
he's not supposed to be like, I don't want nobody to bother me. Like that's not Luke Cage.
And like the internet says, you know, now's the time to really have kind of a bulletproof black guy.
Wow.
There always has been.
That'll show him.
Luke Power Man Cage. To me, it's just a bridge. It's a bridge to get to Iron Fist.
And then that's a
which
bridge
I would have used to think would be fucking impossible, but they did so well on Daredevil that I'm all for it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with all of that. I'd say it's going to be a while before we get new Daredevil or Jones.
That's fine.
That's all right.
I already got two seasons. Plus, it's going to go into Defenders, so those characters will be in there.
Yeah, they said 2018 they're coming out. Yeah.
2018? Wow.
Jay, it's going to be okay because in November you'll get your Gilmore Girls fix. So all will be good.
I'm waiting on bated breath, brother.
Is that the show is coming back?
Yes, it is. To Netflix.
I don't even know what the show is about. It's about a girl and her mom, right?
What is Gilmore Girls?
That's all I know. And that one of the girls was in Sin City as a prostitute.
And the mom was in Bad Santa.
Hit that theme song, work.
But now they're both super old, so why should I care?
No, that's Full House.
But see, now when you sing that song, Orc, all I see is on the sides of you, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, like just cuddling with you right on camera.
Well, they hit 18 a long time ago, so it's okay.
They were in that movie, The Skeleton Twins, right? Wasn't that
that?
Got him. I saw Hardcore Henry last night. You guys seen that?
No.
How was it?
I liked it.
It's probably the most original thing I've seen in quite a while.
I thought the villain was kind of weak, and that was kind of like the only part of the movie I didn't like. But otherwise, I thought it was good. They pulled it off.
Do they use the Queen song in the movie like they do in the trailer?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that the default now? Let's just put Queen in the trailer and everybody will get excited and go see it. I mean, it works. I get it. Queen's like a band like everybody likes. They've got everything.
Yeah, it's terrible choice.
All right, John and Mark, we got two bands used in every fucking movie: Metallica or Queen. Go.
Ugh, neither. Don't get me wrong. I love Queen, but I'm kind of tired of the same two songs they use in every. It's like a fucking Geico commercial.
Queen has a vast library. Play like March of the Black Queen or something. They got lots of good stuff.
Hey Jay, Cole loves Pantera, like you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Cole's looking forward to the Rocky Horror reboot they're doing on Fox TV.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
With Tim Curry said he wanted to play the teacher. I forgot his name. And he said, I'm already in a wheelchair. And they said, no, you can be the narrator. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happened to Tim Curry is sad, man.
Yeah, I know. He's awesome. Too.
See, I would still cast him as Pennywise because him with the stroke face would be fantastic with the makeup.
Yeah.
If Angus Graham can still be the tall man, he can still be Pennywise.
See, that's a remake. I'm fine. They want to remake it because I mean the first one I have some soft spots for it, but I mean it was just a made-for-TV crap fest in a lot of ways.
I just want to know.
They had a real director, Cole. All right, I mean, and then he left, and so now we're gonna get New Line's little freak show, director for hire.
I'm just saying the bar isn't that high. I mean, the first movie had John Ritter in it, for Christ's sake.
Hey.
What?
Yeah.
He was
R.I.P.
good he was good in sitcoms. He's not good in movies.
No, I love John Ritter.
I like him too.
But it also had Harry Anderson in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that, man, I watched that again. I mean, it's been a little while, but man, it's not nearly as good as I remembered.
Yes.
Yeah, but that first 2 hours.
That's kind of my point. Like, there's still things I like about it, and I have good feelings. But I just mean I really, really like the book, and I just think it deserves a better adaptation. They can't completely adapt it. I mean, there's unfilmable stuff in there, and that's fine. You can't have a preteen sex orgy. for instance.
It's like 6 hours or something, right?
It's 4.
Altogether? Oh, it's 4. Okay.
4. Yeah.
It's one you can fall asleep in, get a nice nap, wake up, and still, be on track.
Still pretty much know what's going on.
Yeah.
Wake up just in time for the spider.
Yeah. No, it's a spider now. Okay.
I know.
Gotcha.
Kind of anticlimactic.
No, but the kids are great in that opening hour and a half. I mean,
that's the strength of the movie.
Exactly.
And you have
way better than the adults.
you have Emily Perkins in there from Ginger Snaps who go on. Seth Green obviously shows up in it.
Oh yeah.
Who's the guy that killed himself from Ladies Bugs? Isn't he in there? Jonathan Brandis?
Brandis.
Yeah, he was
Brandis,
really.
yeah.
I like him. I feel bad about him.
But yeah. Sequest represent.
No.
I don't even watch that.
Lady
I didn't even see
Sidekicks.
him in anything good, and I like him. Like, he's in Sidekicks, which is ridiculously bad, and
Is that the Ernie Reyes Jr.
He's in a really
movie?
bad sequel to The Never-Ending Story. So I shouldn't even like him, but I still liked him.
Is it called The Story Should End Soon?
Do you know who he went to his prom with?
Oh.
Brittany Murphy.
Wow. Rest in peace.
I think someone should take the Never-Ending Story and just put it on a loop on YouTube and just let it be never-ending for like 52 hours or something.
I know. Well, I mean,
The Never-Ending Story with ads.
that's what's good about it.
That's another movie I don't think holds up very well.
I still really like it.
I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings saying that, but
I still really like it, but I agree with you. And
Aren't you surprised?
I love how the author was just took his name off it. He was that upset.
Aren't you surprised they haven't tried to remake something like Dark Crystal or Labyrinth? I just think those
Don't
kind
even
of movies...
say it here. I don't want anybody to hear it and get the fucking idea. Because to me, yeah, okay, like I said, I'm not putting down the people that think Ghostbusters is sacred, because to me, those are sacred. So,
Damn.
No.
Cameron, what were they called again?
There's some really good Dark Crystal content out there. There's a really good Dark Crystal comic, graphic novel thing, done by Brian Froud or whatever his name is.
Or remember 16 years ago when we were all excited for Heavy Metal 2000?
I wasn't, because
16 years
Heavy
ago.
Metal, it's another one of those ones I have a really odd sort of relationship with. Like, nothing about it is good. I just kind of like what it represents, type thing. It just reminds me of being 11 or 12 and seeing it in the middle of the night by myself at some point and being like, what is this?
All right, here we go, boys.
None of it really
Cole's corner.
is that good,
What
though.
does Cole actually like? Go, Cole.
Pancakes? I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I like French toast.
Crimson
more than
Peak.
pancakes.
You say Crimson Peak.
I like
He liked Christina Ricci pre-18.
Oh, ouch.
Oh!
Before Pecker. Pre-Pecker.
Yeah. Before John Waters Pecker.
Oh, it's getting worse and worse and worse. But when I first got a flat screen TV years ago, the first thing I watched
Stop talking about Christina Ricci.
was my DVD of Dark Crystal. And nothing made me happier than seeing that, because I'd always seen Dark Crystal on VHS, looking really scratchy and crappy. Seeing it on a nice high def screen and stuff.
Nothing makes you happier than watching Casper on a curved screen.
I could say I was sexually into Kira, I guess.
Who?
From Dark Crystal, Kira.
Oh. You attracted to puppets?
She's the Muppet? Yeah.
No, but I like the idea that she had wings.
Yeah.
Because I've always said it'd be fine if girls had wings. And and for her race, girls did have wings. She's like,
were you
have
ever
wings? And she's like, I don't have wings. She's like, of course not. You're a boy.
Were you ever sexually attracted to Fraggle Rock?
No. I watched the hell out of that show, though. I mean, yeah, Jim Henson. Man, I love Jim Henson stuff in his world.
I heard the other day that The Phantom, you remember that movie with Billy Zane in the 90s?
Yeah.
I saw that with Ryan, and we were the only people there.
Oh, man, me too.
That might have been the first time I experienced that. I've experienced it many times since.
Is basically just like a purple bodysuit, but it was made by the Jim Henson studio.
Hmm.
What the fuck? Why?
Yeah, there were a couple of those really weird movies that just went nowhere. The Shadow is another one. Man. It's people want to see pulpy heroes. Not like this, they don't.
The Shadow knows.
Fucking hell, involved.
Yeah, but then they remade it as the Spirit.
Which was so bad, I turned it off like 25 minutes in. You know, like I was like, how could Frank Miller do this? How?
Have you? Okay, so let me just ask you this question. Have you guys? That was a movie, but that you were talking about. But there are seldom movies where 5 minutes into the movie, this is horrible. Like you just know this is horrible. The Spirit is one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stepfather remake. Fuck that movie. Worst remake of all time.
Orc always manages to work that in. It's like the only movie I know that makes him so angry.
Hostile.
Another one that you knew 5 minutes in, just 5 minutes in, it was going to be terrible, was Van Helsing. You just knew right away.
I was thinking of that just yesterday. I was playing like some Resident Evil and stuff, and I was thinking like the big deal of Van Helsing. Remember, was like they got some like celebrated like theatrical old school actor to play the Frankenstein monster. And that was supposed to be like a big coup. It was supposed to be like so cool and stuff. All I can remember is like that part on the bridge where he says the words "I want to live" and he goes, "I want to live." So like the whole movie is just made for like that moment. The Frankenstein monster going, "I want to live."
I just remember when Universal reissued all their classic monster movies out again, but all the extras were for Van Helsing. It was just like
because they wanted because that was the idea, right? They're like Van Helsing's gonna be this great like callback and tribute to those movies, and it's so not. It's so fucking terrible.
Was that
it's still watchable though because it has what's her name running around.
Beckinsale. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale.
That's the best reason to watch it.
She was already doing the Underworld movie, so she was like, sure, okay.
It's not a train wreck.
And I'm pretty sure that movie that what's her name Josevich did, Ultraviolet. I think that's pretty much a missing Resident Evil movie too.
I bought that on DVD.
I haven't seen it, but I can't imagine it being good.
But definitely a Spirit, Van Helsing. Jay, do you have one? What's a movie you've seen 5 minutes in?
I'm going to talk about The Spirit a little bit more.
Okay. I can't even remember it. I've almost banished it from my mind, to tell you the truth.
That shows you how little Frank Miller had to do with either of the Sin City movies, because that movie's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like Sin City is actually good, but
well, I think he had everything to do with them, but it's just like
stylish aspects, and it's just garbage.
Well, the problem was he chose to direct The Spirit in the same style as Sin City, and
which
so
was
you
a
got
terrible idea.
And then you saw, obviously Robert Rodriguez had everything to do with Sin City.
Yeah. Yes, he was in credit only, man. He had to have been.
Well, I've already explained it. It had nothing to do with him being on set. It was just because of how they lifted the stuff directly. It wasn't because Frank Miller had great filmmaking skills. It was because he said, like, our script is basically this comic. And it's true. If you can even pause parts of the movie and they sync up exactly with the panel, which makes me happy.
Didn't they leave the Directors Guild because of that? Or
yes,
the
he did.
Writers Guild?
Yeah, he did. Because they were like, he's not a director, and he's like, he is good as directed this movie. Which I respect. But yeah, it's true. Once you put Frank Miller, in front of a camera without something he wrote by himself, and by himself, and just I'll just do it.
It doesn't help that Sam Jackson just hamming it up, and it's horrible.
He's a squid Nazi or whatever he was.
Oh my god, that is a bad one, man. I've forgotten most of it, thankfully.
The Spirit is just a weird. It's too hard to base anything on The Spirit anyway, because The Spirit was a strip that's been around for a zillion years, and it didn't have very much depth to it, which was the point. And then they did some reimaginings of it in the 90s and stuff. There was no solid ground or foundation to work from. The Spirit is like a weird, vague almost concept, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I know that movies have been made from less substantial things, but The Spirit, despite the fact that it has this 75-year-old history or whatever, is not that substantial. It didn't have long story arcs. It didn't have detailed characters with big histories or anything like that. It was what it was. It was a comic strip. It just ran for a really long time. I'm not trying to take anything away from Will Eisner. He deserves his spot in the Hall of Fame and all that, but it just was sort of an odd thing to make a movie about, especially when they did it. It was just more like, oh yeah, Sin City did really well. Frank Miller's done some stuff with The Spirit, so sure, well, that'll be a movie. And we see the result.
Meanwhile, they're going to sequelize 300.
Great.
Wait, another sequel to 300?
Well, I don't know if the second one did any good, but
Second one had Ava Green. It was fucking epic. She's the best actress in Hollywood, son. After Meryl Streep.
You need to judge her without looking, from the neck up, though.
No, yeah, dude, I never look from the neck down. What are you talking about? Like,
Man,
I'm a classy movie watcher, Cameron. Jesus, what are you? Come on.
I'm trying to go through a list here to get you an answer, Cameron.
When the movie was called 300 Rise of an Empire, they weren't talking about your penis orgy.
Oh.
It's been on my Netflix watch list forever. I keep meaning to watch it. Well, no, it seems to sort of just I don't understand how you can make a sequel to 300. I mean, 300 was a very specific thing that happened.
It's a prequel and it's a sequel, and when you look at it, you go, "Wow, it looks like Zack Snyder directed this anyway." I mean, it doesn't really matter. It looks like the same.
And Ava Green plays a complete badass chick in that movie.
I know, and that's the main reason to watch it. I understand.
Yeah.
Finding some stuff out about Orc here.
I'm sure I'll watch it at some point. He
likes
strong. We know he likes strong women. Orc likes strong.
All right, while Jay's thinking, let's play one of my favorite games, which is take a regular movie title, and that without changing it sounds exactly like a porno.
Oh man,
wow, that's a fun game. Let's go.
Deep Rising.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
That's pretty good. Smell a scent of snow? Can you see it? I can
Dante's Peak.
Secret Garden.
The Black Cauldron.
The Black Hole.
The Black Hole.
Yeah, exactly. Crimson Tide.
Oh man.
That's a period piece.
Oh. Oh man.
Don't be a menace while drinking your juice.
Dante's Peak was good.
Yeah.
Breaking
the
Big
waves.
Mama's house.
That's disturbing. I love it. Big Mama's house.
How about Outbreak?
Ooh.
Black Snake Moan.
Oh, yeah.
A little too easy.
A little too easy.
No Country for Old Men.
Batman Under the Hood.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Predator.
This is a fun game. Wow.
Well, the thing is that there's just a lot of movies out there that it's the exact, and without changing a goddamn thing, it's a porno movie.
I mean, I can think of a lot of straight to video stuff, but
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yep.
You got to go for those ones that are just gold,
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know. Probably not.
Homeward Bound.
Hope Floats.
Wouldn't that be under bestiality or?
Milo Notice.
No, everyone here cares about Phillips because we're all American, except
The
you.
Thing.
Well, I can understand why Canadians wouldn't be interested in swimming. Their water's solid,
Cole
right?
loves the Winter Olympics.
Oh.
Sorry to cut you off, Mike. He doesn't even give a shit about the Summer Olympics. He doesn't even care.
Hey, if we win a few medals, that's great, but
Oh, come on, Cole. Come on.
So thanks to the
Summer
internet.
Olympics. Who's leading? Two superpowers, the U.S. and China. I mean,
His hands are the size of dinner plates. Figure it out.
With some help from the internet here, we have the Bone Collector. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
12 years as a slave.
As a slave.
In the bestiality category, there's Animal House again.
Snatch.
Oh, yeah.
There
Don't
will
tell
be
Mom the
blood.
babysitter's dead.
Fast and Furious. Bangkok Dangerous.
Oh.
Sleeping Beauty.
30 minutes or less.
The Lost Boys.
Oh, this is
that was a good movie.
The Midnight Meat Train.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
But if you're gonna go Sleeping Beauty, you gotta go Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know.
Midnight Meat Train.
American History X.
Son of a Woman.
The old Midnight Meat Train, boys.
Lady and the Tramp. How about Lady and the Tramp? I like that.
And Jackie Brown.
Oh, I got the best one. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
There you go. Which, believe it or not, was written by Ian Fleming and Roald Dahl.
Yep. I feel bad for Roald Dahl because I bet you that BFG movie's crap.
It definitely is.
And I liked that book a lot. I read a lot of his stuff when I was a kid, man. Yeah. He had great stuff.
I think Hard Candy would be a good one.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Splash.
Gangs of New York.
There Will Be Blood. There you go.
the people under the stairs.
Oh. That's pretty good.
How does that one go? Oh, look at that! They're under the stairs.
And we fuck them. We fuck them.
Pete.
I dropped my shoe.
Yeah, I mean.
Coal miner's daughter.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Julian Donkey Boy. Yeah.
I didn't know what that was at the time. That when I was at my first week at university, Frosh Week or whatever, when they do all that weird shit to you, and they wrote a bunch of weird. We had Frost shirts, and they wrote all this stuff on markers. Somebody wrote that on mine. I had no idea what the fuck it meant.
They made you watch a Harmony Korine movie?
On which they wrote fetus fucker. That's what they wrote on the guy next to me. So.
I would rather have Julian Donkey Boy.
Yeah, I had it. I just didn't know what it meant.
Have you seen the movie?
No, I know what it is now though. At the time,
Herzog is in it.
I had no fucking clue what it was when they wrote it.
Here's a good one: Children of the Corn, Urban Harvest.
Wait, is that a real title?
Yeah, it is.
What, they went to the hood?
Yeah, there's one where they're like in Chicago.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
From like 95 or 96.
See, Children of the Corn could never be remade today because even though they tried.
I
mean, because back then, you could be in a town that existed on the outskirts of nowhere. Now everyone's got GPS, and you'd be like, "Get me out of this fucking place right now."
Okay, My Bloody Valentine, but here's the best one: Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
Now that.
Sounds good on paper.
I could totally hear some 70s funk played over that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're gonna go do that, then maybe Howl's Moving Castle would be good too.
I still think the Elephant Man would be a good one.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, I get it in his pants.
Images everywhere.
Sleepers.
Free Willy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a classic.
12 Angry Men.
Oh.
12 Angry Men.
Who doesn't want to watch that?
All One Up Cold, 12 Monkeys.
Another bestiality one.
Taxi Driver.
Oh lordy.
Dirty
King Kong.
Dirty Harry, obviously.
How about Pay It Forward?
I like that a lot.
Anaconda. There you go.
Propulsion. Big Fish? I don't know. Maybe that's a reach. I already mentioned Chasing Amy.
The Stuff.
Terminator.
The Third Man. Farewell, My Concubine. Maybe? Yeah, a little too dramatic.
A little too on the nose.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Alright, no, that's not too good.
Fist of Fury.
Oh.
Fist of Legend.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything with fist is pretty good.
Alright, I'm gonna go there. We're going Victor Salva. Child's Play.
Okay.
We already mentioned Sin City. Too easy.
Okay, that's funny. Come on.
Child's Play.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they pretty much had one with Seed of Chucky. Come on. With this son. Are you an Yakuza? I love it, man. I know people bag on that fifth one, but it is, to me, it's so funny. The fact that his son's Glenn or Glenda, and he just shows up in the...
I like all the Chucky movies.
It's like, ah! Oh, my lordy.
Good impact for it.
Back to your original question, the movie I knew was bad from like minute one.
Yeah.
It's like Leonard Part 6.
God.
That's a movie.
I could go...
I plan to watch Ghost Dad in the next few days. It's on my Netflix, so I think I think now is the perfect time to watch Ghost Dad. That's basically what I'm saying.
It's not bad, but I'm still traumatized by it. So thanks to you, Cole, and I know Cameron will really like this. Eraserhead.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
I traumatize as many people as I can with that one.
It's every second is ticking by the bar at the bottom, and I'm just like, why the fuck am I watching this? What is going on?
And that was like a year ago. You're still talking about it.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy movie.
Hey, I haven't seen that movie in almost 13 years, and it still haunts me.
I was like, I haven't seen this one yet, and Cole's like, if you got through more than 15 minutes of it, I'll applaud you.
I didn't catch that one until I'd seen a lot of other like way worse stuff, so it didn't really.
And I mean, I like Lynch, but that's too far.
I mean, if you thought Eraserhead,
I didn't find it disturbing. I just found it bad and awful.
Awful
and boring. Very boring. One of my friends summed it up very well. Either nothing is happening or something terrible is happening. That's the movie. Might have hurt my ears more than any other movie.
What's that?
Besides anything with like Rosie Perez in it.
There's a book I have that is one of the chapters is the 13 most disturbing films of all time. I think we've seen them all though. And number 1 is Solo. I know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
Get on that Criterion, son.
Yeah.
The 120 Days of Sodom.
And 2 discs of special features. Oh my lord!
There's a meme in the making, boys. Here we go. What's 120 days of pancakes? What's up? 20 days of...
Yeah, I guarantee you I've probably seen all the ones on that list.
Make one of Cole watching The Dark Crystal and getting excited.
What was really weird is like years ago I met a girl named Kira who was named that because her parents liked the movie so much.
Wow.
Did you ask her out?
I was like, that's so cool. No. I can't even remember if she was pretty or not, because that's the most important thing.
Did you give her the Fist of Fury?
Yeah, well, she didn't have strings, so it wasn't that exciting.
Yeah. You gotta have the strings.
Where are your wings, you lying bitch?
There's your deal breaker right there. You ever see the movie Strings? That's a good movie.
Remember when it was a thing for girls to get the tattoos of wings on their back?
Yeah.
It may still be a thing. I don't know.
I kind of used to be jealous. I did get over it. Because I was like, that's kind of cool. I was like, no, don't do that. Every once in a while, you'll see like an MMA fighter that's got them. It doesn't look good. Like, that's the problem with tattoos like that. Like, if he's like right there in front of you, you're like, that looks pretty cool. But if he's like more than like 3 or 4 feet away, just like he has like a big smear down his back. So
yeah,
and like, same thing with like a chick, right? Too. So
Benson Henderson has got like his entire back as wings.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess it looks good from certain angles. That's why with my tattoos, they're all just like very simple, like elemental symbols and stuff. So that from like pretty much any angle, they look the same, and there's not a lot of detail and stuff.
Well, guys, unfortunately, I have to get going, but thank you very much for letting me come on and help crash this thing. It's been a lot of fun. And
glad you can make it.
Want to leave you guys with a couple other titles to think about. We got The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Ooh, that's good.
We got Short Circuit. I'm thinking vibrators on the fritz there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And of course, how can we go out with Milk Money?
Man, that's an awful movie that I can't believe I've seen. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God, I'm looking for one.
Sounds like 50 Shades of Grey Potter.
Yeah, Cole, you should start up a new video series on your channel, 50 Shades of Cole. You'll get a lot of hits for that.
I can't believe I didn't bring up Manhunter.
But I think I do think that the Midnight Meat Train just gets an award.
I think that's the best.
Yeah, I think that will be very tough to top.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, of course, there's the Michael Moore movie that just came out, Where to Invade Next. You know, that would be...
And the movie coming out tomorrow, The Sausage Party.
Yeah.
Or for the transgender people out there, Mr. Mom.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Later, man.
Take it easy, man.
Later.
Bye.
Well, guys, I think it's probably a good time to go ahead and end it here, unless you guys have anything you want to add.
Run, Lola, run? That implies rape. That's really good.
Alright, in our second half of the show, here we go.
We're now entering part 2.
This will probably be
game.
the shortest one of these we've done, I think.
Yeah, I gotta turn off these lights anyway. They're frying my brain out here. I need to set up a new situation for this.
But,
Was there anything else? What have I seen lately? What have I done lately? Doesn't matter.
First Corner Part 2, do you like pancakes or waffles? Mike.
Oh, man.
French toast all the way.
Oh. I gotta go waffles, man. Because, like, not only are they, like, crunchy, but they, like, hold the syrup in there.
Very true. Waffles are one of man's more perfect inventions.
But the pancakes soak up the syrup.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
They both have their merits.
Yes.
I like both, exactly.
We don't discriminate against
No.
breakfast foods here.
There's not too many breakfast food items that I dislike. Not too many.
Yeah,
The waffle
I'm
tacos
not
at
a
Taco
breakfast
Bell are
person
pretty
either.
bad.
I don't even eat in the morning. If I'm eating waffles, it's like probably 7:30 at night. I do not eat in the morning. It does not agree with me.
When I was in D.C. A few years ago, they have this thing called a scrapple. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
It's this odd, like, meat thing. It was really good. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was good. It's like a regional
I don't know. I'm
thing.
starting to think that maybe you took something.
I made this up, yeah.
It sounds more like somebody like drugged you and fed you something, and you don't really remember, but it was pretty good.
They drugged you and fed you meat? You
Yeah.
might be alarmed.
It happened one night.
It's almost like a mystery meat type of thing, but it's like a regional thing, you know.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Mystery meat.
Well, I mean,
What type of sausage was in that
I
omelet?
do like meat.
I don't think the mystery meat in prison would be all that enjoyable, though.
No. Oh, Jesus.
Prison food. Yeah. I know you didn't mean that, but still,
Yeah.
prison food can't be that good either.
No, it's pretty horrible.
God, man. Prison sex.
Oh, Jesus.
Not
The theme of every show.
Not cool, man. It's something I think about pretty often. Like, it's like it makes me obey the law a lot more than anything else. Like, I can handle doing the time.
People ask me, what are you afraid of? Incarceration. That's why. I'm not looking to, go on some dating site in the prison. Thanks.
I need to hit the gym, man.
Although, on the other hand, like,
I need to
you
go.
say, if Mike were to say, like, kill, like, 12 people over, like, several months, and he, like, before he got caught, he, like, sent in, like, a bunch of stupid, like, little letters to the police and stuff like that. By the time they locked you up, you would probably have, like, a huge chick fan base, because there's a bunch of insane chicks that think
That's
there's
true.
nothing hotter than
There
crazy
really are.
murderers. So, Then it's just conjugal visits for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I was
That's
watching
the other visits I'd be worried about.
Yeah, but you'd have your reputation as this crazy psycho killer, so that could help.
I wish we had James here right now to give us the step-by-step process of like
Oh man,
how it goes down.
definitely
I really
have a
don't
story.
think about this at all, but now I have to for a while.
Like I could, I could rob that bank, but I don't, I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
I don't want to wind up in the can being traded around the, white supremacy group.
Yeah, choose which group you would like to rape you. Like, wait, where's the perks of joining your group? I'm getting raped either way.
Yeah. I joined these guys, and they're going to rape me anyway. But if I don't join these guys are going to rape me, and they might kill me too.
Where's the upside?
At that point, I take the second.
I think I pretty much already chosen my group, haven't I?
I think the Breakfast Club has something to it.
I wouldn't want to go to prison. I know if you went to prison for like 1 or 2 years, I'd end up in there forever because I'd have to kill people.
Yeah. First
you didn't kill anybody until you went to prison. How all of a sudden you become a mass murderer all of a sudden? Yeah, protecting my rectal virginity.
Very messed up, but
well, I mean, you could just go to just commit some white-collar crime. Go to some bullshit white-collar minimum security
It sounds
prison.
very messed up, but all the years we've been doing the show where we've known each other, the best advice was from Mike and James on what you do if that ever happens to you. Best thing I ever heard. That's the
Throw down a smoke grenade?
It'll extend your sentence a little bit, but you'll be able to shit regularly for the rest of your life. So
that's
it's a
important. That's very important. Yep.
I don't know, man. I seriously might kill myself if I'm looking at like a serious time. I'm serious. Like I couldn't handle that shit. I mean,
Guess it just depends upon the prison.
Yeah.
You guys have some nasty ones, that's for sure.
Well, they're not like third world nasty, but yeah, they're still.
No,
nasty.
but I mean, still.
Well, you get 3 squares and a hot,
I
hot
bet you San Quentin's pretty bad.
But
yeah.
I don't know.
I just think it's
they probably
kind of weird.
Me. They probably killed me before that.
They'll throw you in prison for being a rapist, but they don't care if you get raped while you're in prison.
That is kind of fucked up.
How does that work? I mean, you throw a rapist in prison for raping people, but then you don't care if he gets raped. Or anybody gets raped.
Or if he continues raping while he's there.
Yeah.
Now he's just raping different people. I don't know. There's a lot wrong with prison. I mean, think about it. I mean, so many people that get sent to prison, like, on a first offense, like, maybe they wouldn't do it again, but by the time prison's through with them, they're, like, hardened, crazy badasses that don't know anything else. Yeah.
No, there's a story in Florida where this guy got 10 years in prison for killing somebody in a road rage incident. He gets out of prison and is immediately killed in a road rage incident. Did he learn anything in that 10 years? No. Obviously, prison does not work.
That's terrible. Holy shit.
Yeah, he definitely had a road rage problem, huh?
And 10 years in prison did squat. He didn't learn a thing. So, yeah.
Sometimes it turns people into more effective criminals, because then they get locked up with people that can teach them how to...
The problem is you got caught because you're stupid. Here's how you do it right.
Yeah. You hone your skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd take advice from somebody else that was actually in prison. Yeah. It's like, obviously, your way doesn't work either.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to tell you how to get out of this fucking shithole. Alright, here's how you do it. Okay.
My way works, just don't get caught.
None of the criminals around here are very smart.
That's why you look at some of the people...
They just do the same things, get immediately caught and locked up for them, and then
that's why you look at some of the
that's how it
people
goes. I know, because my dad often represent them and stuff, and my dad be like this group of guys that lived in like this crappy like crack house type place. They would like need money, so they'd like go less than 5 minutes down the road to rob this gas station. Another big getaway would be just back to the same place, like straight up the road.
Like, the next day they go back to the gas station to get some gas.
Cops,
hey, how's it going?
The cops would be there in like 2 minutes. They'd be like, "Oh, you had to rob the place again. Good plan, yeah."
The cop was telling me about that the other day. A guy that used to live near where I live, he would go and rob the same store, go back to his house. No, pretty smart. But
what did he steal? 2 gallons of milk.
Didn't James tell you to like kill somebody the first day you get into prison?
That's
First person
what I
to
was
fuck.
saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Just kill
See,
them.
I think I'd be forced to kill somebody the first day.
Our second show, I mean, we knew each other from YouTube, but I was like, hey, what advice do you guys have if anything bad happens? And Mike and James were just like, just kill somebody. I'm like, okay.
See, I think I'd be forced to. I'd get there, and within 5 seconds of talking to me, they'd hate my guts. No, I'm not like a normal criminal. So I would probably just have to kill somebody.
My 3-year sentence would turn into a life sentence. Yeah, not going to happen.
Yeah, you would think, you're completely nude. You don't have any pockets. Where are you going to put stuff? Easter it. Where am I going to hide this shank?
Oh, God.
Oh, God, I can't do this anymore.
Like, the shit they pull out of there, man, it's like, they'll pull, like, those big-ass cell phones out. Like, we're not talking about, like, a little tiny, like, flip phone. We're talking about, like, a big-ass cell phone up there.
A brick phone?
Like one of those old Nokias, like the size of a brick.
They can beat Snake while it's in them.
Well, dude, if you've been in prison for any period of time, it would probably fit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just. It doesn't make a sound when it goes in. It's just like.
I know. It's just I can't imagine getting used to that though. Like being in a situation where like that sort of thing is just sort of normal. No big deal. Just put it up there. You don't want that to be your normal.
Oh man, we've really gone off the rails. I could really talk about this for like another hour.
No, that's enough for me, I think. I will continue to lead a nice law-abiding life.
Yeah, yeah, you say that, Orc, and we have more viewers than we have the entire night right now.
Dude, it's true, man.
Everybody wants to say like what they do if they were in prison.
I don't know. I mean, I would never do anything stupid enough to get like a serious like sentence like that, but yeah, like Mike said, you get like a 3-month sentence and you got to kill like 3 dudes while you're in there.
I don't know.
The rest of your life,
You don't know though. I mean, like if somebody hurt my cat, I would just murder them on the spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even attempt to like defend myself in court. I'd be like, yeah, they hurt my cat. I had to kill them. I'd be like, I'm not a danger to society. I wouldn't do it again because there's no cat anymore. But I'm not sorry. Under any other circumstances, I'd never hurt anybody ever. But I did what I did. Yeah. So.
Went to jail for some unpaid parking tickets. Killed like 6 guys in the first week I was there. Got like 3 consecutive life sentences. Oh, man.
That's got to have at least happened at least a few times.
Making a murderer season
some like
2.
bullshit crime, but then like killed several people in prison. Like despite never being violent ever before that.
Solitary confinement is not a punishment. It is the preferred existence.
Yeah. I mean, if you can be alone, that's good. I mean, that's one of the major things you would miss in a prison, mostly is privacy, right?
Yeah.
If you could be alone and I could read some books, it'd be okay.
Yeah, solitary confinement would be totally cool with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can handle the loneliness.
I'm used to it anyway.
Yeah, I watch a lot of that Lockup, and
learn like a bummer, like the people like infiltrate, like the normal people. Yeah, I saw some of that a few months ago.
So just put
one guy, they were gonna like attack him, and the guy went to like punch him in the side of the head, and it was like this big thing leading up to the commercial. And then when it finally happened, the guy like turned like he must have like hit him like that. Like this guy's running up to like he has a running start to punch this guy in the head, and he finally did it. It was like tapping him. The guy just sort of turned and looked at him. They hyped it up like it was gonna be like this crazy attack, and the guy that punched him couldn't throw a punch.
I watched one with the female prisoners, and the chicks were making dildos out of bars of soap.
That's hygienic, I guess. Wouldn't that sting? I mean, it's not my anatomy. I don't know. I know what a bar of soap would do to some parts of my unprotected anatomy.
Gotta keep it clean.
Piss and fire.
Ouch. That's constructive.
We're not talking about Orange is the New Black here. It's not a fucking soap opera. Yeah. Hardcore bitches.
As part of my training when I was working juvenile corrections, I had to do a week at the girls' version. Oh my God. I was happy to get back to the other one.
They're also
next Jay the Stingray hangout, we gotta have James and Mike corrections stories. That's what it's gonna be, the whole entire show. Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be epic.
No thanks. You can count me out of that one.
I'll be there. Sure.
I know you will be, because you have a morbid curiosity about these things.
I do too, man.
No.
It's like a group of 15-year-old girls that were catcalling me like they were fucking construction workers and shit. I was like, oh. You want to fuck me and then kill me, right? Get the hell away from me, crazy bitch.
Back where you grew up.
I'm going to be locked in this room and you stay on the outside. That shit was scary.
Was this in the same state where you grew up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
I was happy to get back to the gangbangers.
It's a really bizarre hierarchy they have there. It's you know, the chicks, like, even if they're really not lesbians, they go find a big, like, the biggest, butchest dyke in that place, and that's their, you know, wife or whatever they call it, husband, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and they, like, protect them from the other, like, hardcore bitches. Like I said, I watch too much Lockup.
Yeah. I like movies where people break out of prison. That's about my interest. I like seeing people break out of prison. That's interesting. But
El Chapo's a champ, dude.
They caught the Shawshank guy. It was in the last year, I think. He was hiding out down in Florida. He's like ancient now, and they put him back in prison. I'm like, you should just let him go.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
He hasn't done anything since he escaped. He's been a law-abiding citizen. He's like ancient now, and you're going to put him back in prison just because you're pissed that he got out?
Yep.
I don't think I realized that was based on a true story. Wow. That's cool. Oh, well, on that note, I guess we can go ahead and call it quits here.
I think so.
Cool.
All right. Well, if you've tuned in for this long, we thank you for watching. And
you got nothing going on tonight, I guess.
Yeah. Check us out. We'll be back on the Sausage Factory coming very soon. Thursday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern. And, yeah, probably a little more structured than this. And, less rape.
Yeah. You can still count on some rape because it's just become a staple of the show.
Like you said, I have a morbid curiosity. But, all right. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
Later.